What is up, you guys? And welcome to the Taiwan show. We're here at Computex, where I spent about maybe 2 hours on the show floor, and Luke spent even less.
Probably about the same, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
High five.
Good job.
Yeah. We've got a lot of great topics for you guys today, starting, of course, with IKEA apparently hiring digital employees to work at the Roblox store. Dude, is the metaverse actually real?
People wanted work from home.
They did, but did they want to work from Roblox?
Probably not.
In other news, Intel wants to fight ARM while AMD appeals to tradition. But the big news, of course, this year at Computex is Qualcomm and their Snapdragon X Plus and Snapdragon X Elite processors. I did get to be hands-on with them, which is pretty exciting. We're going to be talking about that later. What else we got today, Luke?
Nvidia is number 2.
How dare you? Look, I don't always agree with them, but you can't call them that.
You prepped that. You had that prepared. That was preemptive. I don't know how I feel about that. What else? I don't know.
Overpriced, maybe. But you can't say the quality is
number 2.
You know, like that, right?
If you have an NVIDIA graphics card in your computer, you got some number 2 in there. And we have an update on the car thing stuff. We can talk about that, I guess.
Yeah, sure. We'll talk about the Spotify car thing.
Yeah.
Oh, how do we roll the intro? I guess Dan does it. The show is brought to you today by AG1, Squarespace, and MANSCAPED. Why don't we jump straight into our headline topic this week, which is that IKEA is launching the Coworker game, a virtual experience inside Roblox whose gameplay will apparently involve serving meatballs and decorating showrooms.
What?
The game is open to anyone. The broader Roblox community, gamers, and IKEA fans alike. I do wonder how much, overlap there is between those groups. And this is according to IKEA's press statement. IKEA is also hiring 10 people for fully remote virtual roles in this virtual IKEA universe at a rate of £13.15 per hour, which IKEA says is aligned with the pay recommendations of the Living Wage Foundation for the City of London. I pretty much promise you that nobody is living in London for £13.15 per hour, but that's a whole separate conversation.
Yeah.
The hiring process will involve an interview, hiring questionnaire, and the submission of a resume, and applicants from the UK and Ireland must be at least 18 years old.
Wait, so do you have to live in the UK or Ireland?
I don't know. Probably not. If you're working for £13.15 an hour, you are probably not living many places in the UK or Ireland.
Why is there only rules for there?
I don't know. Maybe they're willing to hire children as long as they're not in the UK and Ireland. I legitimately don't know.
Weird. Okay.
Quote, "We're excited to be the first brand to launch paid work on Roblox to showcase how we do careers differently, bringing our unique careers philosophy to life. At IKEA, there is no set route to career progression. Our coworkers are able to change roles, switch departments, and grow in any direction they choose, both in the game or in the real world."
Wow. Yeah, to clarify, paid players must be 18 plus and in the UK or Republic of Ireland to apply.
Okay, so you do have to be in the UK and Republic of Ireland. So here's my question for you. When you were 18, would you apply for this? What do you even do? You hang out, like you've got the press release open.
Yeah.
Do you hang out in the store? Is it a store? Like it seems to be like IKEA Employee Simulator, but some of them are paid.
Yeah, I don't know how you help customers and stuff when the game is people being what you are, isn't it?
I don't know. Maybe you manage their shifts, Luke. Maybe you're not thinking metaverse enough.
Maybe you're like the dungeon master of this IKEA simulator. You like create events and stuff. I have no idea.
Sure,
idea.
You could spawn customers, or
I might apply for it. But to be completely honest, at that time I was seeking employment that paid more than this even back then, and there was options for that.
Well, hold on.
13.15
£13.15. What the devil is that? Hold on.
Oh, is that worth
£13.15
more?
to Canadian dollars. Okay, here we go.
Oh, okay.
That's 23 Canadian dollars an hour.
That's actually not too bad.
Yeah, like when I was that age, I was making. Well, hold on a second though, because we got to convert.
Inflation.
So in 2003, I was making 16 Canadian dollars an hour. So inflation calculator. But sure, I'll use a US
you were 18
one.
in 2003.
17.
Okay.
But that's when I was working.
Got it. Okay.
That's when I got my first job out of high school, and I was making the same the year after. So 2003, $16 an hour is what I was making. Okay. 27. So I was ahead.
All right.
But in fairness, I had to get certifications in order to do my job. I was working as a lifeguard and swimming lessons teacher. So that was probably a grand total of about $1,500 in certifications. Not to mention the unpaid time,
which is out of reach for some people,
right? So I'm paying to invest additional time in getting those certifications. So how many hours would I have had at $4 an hour? Hold on, I don't even cover my certification cost. So divided by 4. I don't even cover my certification cost until I've worked hundreds of hours, right? So yeah, realistically, it's maybe not that bad, except that the problem is that I've been to London.
Yeah.
And like,
I mean, it's not only London though.
I just mean, my point is just that it's not as simple as your cost of living is just like currency conversion.
Totally.
Right? Like things just cost more over there to my crappy Canadian currency.
Even compared to
right?
BC?
Like you can't just convert your currency. So the fact that they're making, £13 or whatever it is an hour, if things just cost more because they're pounds or something, then it doesn't really help you. So the math that we're doing is not fully representative. Really what I wanted to talk about is more along the lines of like, would you have been willing to work in a virtual store? Would you have applied to work in a virtual store?
Oh yeah. I mean, I applied for whatever. At that age, like, I don't know, who cares?
Well, okay. I'm going to try this one more time without just like
no, I definitely
indiscriminately applying to everything. Would this, out of the 10 jobs you apply to, where would this rank? Which one would you want?
I would have probably wanted the one that I had at the time. At that time, Geek Squad was a separate entity to Best Buy, and it was actually like super cool.
Right.
I definitely would have preferred the job that I had at that time over this, but it is definitely also something that I would have considered. I think out of the top 10, it would probably have been like 3 or 4. It's not too bad. You can stay at home. At that point in time, if you could have, spent less on gas, it's actually like a really big deal.
Oh yeah.
Like when you're making a huge amount of income is your like how much money after your expenses you have.
Sure.
And when you're making a very low amount of money, the amount of money after expenses is really small. So if you can reduce those expenses like maintenance on car, gas, stuff like that, it's actually super beneficial. So
Luke, net profit versus gross profit tips.
Yeah. It's like it's a big deal.
Yeah, 100%. Honestly, not quite this job. Like I don't really have any particular love for IKEA.
I don't me neither.
Yeah, I don't think there's like an IKEA passion that could be awakened in me.
And dealing with like small children screaming about their digital meatballs not being good enough doesn't sound exactly entertaining.
Or whatever. Like I don't even know exactly what this is.
What the job is? Yeah, I don't know.
But with that said, you know what job I would have applied for if it existed?
Yeah.
If NCIX, whose forums I would hang out on for hours a day.
Yeah.
If they had like, even if it didn't have an hourly rate, if they just had like a commission-based
You probably would have killed. You probably would have preferred that over hourly rate.
I probably would have crushed it.
Yeah.
If I could just hang out in the NCIX virtual store and people could just ask me for help configuring their computer or whatever, and all they gave me, all NCIX would have had to give me is like a little name tag or whatever, like special recognition that my character kind of worked at the store.
Maybe the name above your head is like a slightly different color, something.
Yeah,
you can tell.
or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And honestly, they could have just, because they kind of had similar systems for the forum already anyway. They were mostly just based on like post count in those days, unfortunately.
Not always a great indicator.
Not always the best. But they did also have like a system for experts, I think.
The lines of code version of full contribution.
Yeah. But man, I would have loved that. I would have gotten home from school and like put on my virtual, tie and button up shirt, and I would have gone and sold computers, man. I would have been so.
I feel like that might have almost been a problem for you. You might have spent like too much time doing it.
Maybe, but if I was making money, like.
Is that really that?
Then I could buy more computers.
Yeah.
Win-win.
I feel like that is what the Linus of that time would have done.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. And I could be like only like half tuned into that at the time, right? I could be like half tuned into that. And then I could be like half tuned into, my other forums, like my Red Flag Deals forum, wheeling and dealing. Only, monitors didn't weigh 50 pounds back then I could have just had I could have got some online poker going on up here, get some like day trading, Forex right here, and yeah, man.
I'm failing to
whole other
see
career path.
Is this a full-time position or not?
I think this feels intentionally vague and nebulous to me.
Yeah, it feels like they just want people like us to talk about it, to be honest. Because it's only 10 positions. If they were doing actual real work, I suspect the amount of people, especially at the beginning, that flood this game.
Did you just call the metaverse not actual real work? I wish I had my swear button. I wish I had my bleep button so I could tell you what a guy,
number two?
What a guy you're being. Yeah. Yeah, what a number two you're behaving like. Okay, that is real work. They're doing real work just because they're sitting with their Cheetos and their Mountain Dew in their
digital meatballs.
And their digital meatballs. Man, my digital meatballs are cooking right now.
Yeah.
I got a computer and a pillow on my lap, and we are in Taiwan heat because we liked the vibe of this little outdoor meeting area. We could have been inside where the air conditioning is, but we love you guys so much. We wanted you to share in the outdoors of Taiwan with us. What do you want to talk about next?
Okay, let's see. Intel wants to fight ARM?
Let's do it.
At Computex, Intel gave a deeper look into its upcoming Lunar Lake architecture. The company is claiming improvement across the board, though with heavy emphasis on efficiency and battery life. A 38% to 68% increase in instructions per clock for E-cores compared to a 14% increase for P-cores. Intel is also claiming a 50% performance gain for its integrated graphics, which will be using a low-powered variant of Intel's Xe2 Battlemage.
Yeah, Battlemage just kind of snuck up on me here. I don't know why, but I was kind of expecting it to come as a discrete GPU first, and then here it is, boom, onboard graphics, Battlemage is here, let's go. I heard some folks got hands-on with it at some point, maybe somewhere, and it was running pretty good.
Because this is pretty abnormal. Usually you'd have the discrete GPU launch first. I wonder if this will help drivers, though.
I hope so.
Help drivers for the discrete GPU people.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Where because Intel is shipping apparently a negligible number of discrete ARC GPUs according to the latest market share trends, which have Nvidia at almost 90% now.
Oof.
Wild, hey? But Intel is apparently negligible, and so when you're shipping a negligible number of boards, I imagine that the incentive to prioritize development of it, even though to Intel's credit, they have really chipped away at Arc Alchemist and tried to make it as working as it could be. But when you're shipping not that many compared to when all of a sudden this product that is like a do or die product for you. Lunar Lake is going up against not just AMD, but now Qualcomm Snapdragon X. Full disclosure, by the way, guys, not that it actually matters for WAN show. We'll be saying whatever we damn well please. But Qualcomm did sponsor a video on Snapdragon X while we were here, which is part of why we were able to poke and prod at it a lot.
That's cool.
Yeah, man, I love it.
It's very interesting.
I love it when we get a sponsorship that comes with like extra access to the
would
product
have wanted anyways,
and almost no strings attached.
Yeah.
When we went through the script, they were like, "Can we change that word?" And I changed it. I did my trick. I changed it to something worse.
Like, oh, never mind.
And they were like, "Never mind." They changed like one word, and then like, Andy, we shot like a pickup. Yeah, we shot a pickup because we actually made too strong of a statement about the competition.
Oh.
And they were like,
they wanted it to be pulled back.
They wanted it to be dialed back.
Interesting.
So
Spicy.
just is
this out already?
No, it's not out yet.
All right.
But anyway, Intel, this is a do or die product for Intel, right? Where they're going to be going up not just against AMD, who has been kicking their butt a little, right? Because I mean, AMD had like, man, their first generation that was super competitive. That would have been mobile 3000 or 4000. I forget. I can't keep track now that the Zen generation doesn't line up with the product generation, and the mobile and the desktop generations don't line up either. It's very confusing.
Yeah.
But the point is, they had one that was really competitive, and it was in like a handful of devices that functionally weren't even really available. Is that 5,000? Doesn't matter. The point is, they were competitive on paper, but they didn't exist, right? And then over the last couple of generations, they exist, and they're in some really good designs now. Like I'm holding an AMD laptop that I freaking love. This is framework disclosure, I guess. This is the Flow X13 from Asus. I flipping love this thing. It's got an 8-core Ryzen 7000 series processor. It's got an RTX 4070 in it, albeit a lower TDP one, obviously.
Yeah, it's real thin, real small.
Yeah, I mean, it gets hot enough to. Yeah, she's cooking, right? Because we're using RTX broadcast for noise cancellation, and
it's not like the ambient is low here.
And I think, I also have my capture card running, so I've got video capture running through it. Absolutely freaking love this machine, but AMD doesn't have the kind of like fab capacity to ship enough laptop chips that Intel has to really worry about, just outright losing.
Mm-hmm.
Qualcomm, on the other hand.
Mucho fab capabilities.
Dude, I can't believe how many design wins these chips are in. Like, when you compare this to AMD's first generation of competitive CPUs, where it was like, you could tell from the designs that, like, the vendors didn't want to make Intel too mad. Not because there's a backroom deal necessarily, not because Intel is, back to their tricks of, paying people to not use AMD necessarily. I mean, who knows? Something could emerge, 5 years from now or whatever. I don't know either way. But what I'm saying is, that's not the vibe I got. The vibe that I got was, yeah, the AMD chip is in the slightly more worser one, because realistically, they know they can't get enough allocation to switch over a significant volume to this thing.
Yeah.
So they're just kind of putting it in some niche devices, knowing that that's all they can ship anyway. And the bulk of this generation is going to be Intel. Like, you can tell when that happens, right? It ain't happening.
Oh boy.
Dude, these Qualcomm designs are sick. And I don't mean that Qualcomm designed them, sorry. I mean like the Dell XPS with Qualcomm Snapdragon in it.
Like the laptop itself?
Sick. Yeah, it's sick. The Surface, the new Surface. It's sick.
Do you think this is a
Dude,
decent amount of pressure from Microsoft?
Dude, the camera in the Surface. It's sick. Honestly, in our video, I don't think we have the most favorable demo of how much better the camera quality can be. It's like a little better.
Are you on the floor or something?
Yeah, but we're in like a demo room, and the lighting really, really sucks.
Yeah.
To the point where kind of anything looks bad. But under slightly better lighting conditions when we were in the meeting room before.
That's interesting because laptop webcams are kind of notoriously terrible.
Yeah, so we go through this in the video because very few people are talking about the camera image quality benefit of Snapdragon, Windows on Snapdragon. Everyone's talking about, Qualcomm's talking points, right? Which is performance, AI, and battery life.
So it's like compute-enhanced video?
Well, no. What it is that almost all laptop webcams have the ISP on the webcam. But on Snapdragon, the ISP is on die. And it's linked using I forget what the link is, but instead of using USB, it uses the same interface as your smartphone.
Oh man.
So they have plug-and-play compatibility for the same camera modules
that's absolutely wild.
from the smartphone industry.
Yeah.
And they have all those years of experience building ISPs.
So much more work goes into that. Like
for smartphones.
Disgustingly more work goes into that.
Dude. The new Surface's webcam, you can just throw away your add-on webcam. Just huck it.
That's
because
nice.
Yeah, because it's built in.
Because it's pretty annoying using that.
Very cool. Like, dude, I'm pretty stoked.
I've heard genuine rumor. I don't know if there's articles about this, whatever. This is word of mouth rumor that a decent amount of this pressure to make the laptops really sick for this generation of laptops is from Microsoft.
Really? That makes sense. I think that they've been. It's funny because
again, total rumor. I don't know.
I was looking at the market share that Apple has gained since the launch of Apple Silicon, and it's not as much. At least according to the source that I was looking at, it's quite possible that a company like Microsoft,
I've heard the same thing,
who's going to be paying a lot of money per year to, for market research or whatever, it's possible they have numbers that I don't. But from what I can tell, it hasn't really made a meaningful difference. And that actually kind of jives with Apple's behavior, where it's like, yeah, I don't know, we'll do an update to this one, I guess. M4, I don't know. Yeah, we'll put it in a MacBook at some point. iPad, right? It kind of jives with Apple's behavior. Whereas, man, when M1 came out, M2 refresh, we're like, we're on a cadence. We're going. Here come all the models. We got the studio. We got the big one.
But they're not converting more users.
Yeah, but if they're not converting more users, it's like Apple just goes through this cycle where they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna do Mac again. We're gonna kill it. We're focused on Mac again. Yeah, sorry, we forgot.
Never mind.
Right, they did it with the trash can. They did it with the first generation cheese grater or the new generation cheese grater on Intel. They did it with the studio. Mac Studio, is that still M2? Yeah.
Oh, probably.
Yeah, Mac Studio is still M2 family.
That's Apple stuff, man. I've been trying to figure this out. I suspect it's because of whatever it's called, Replay.
Oh, yeah.
It's the whole Copilot Plus PCs thing. I think that's why they're pushing for it.
I mean, yeah, maybe it's less to do with Apple's threat and it's more to do with just, good Lord, give people a reason to upgrade their damn computers.
Yeah.
I could see that. Anyway, coming back to the fight that Intel's in with Lunar Lake, they cannot afford for these Battlemage drivers to suck, and that gives me a lot of hope, actually, for the Battlemage discrete cards.
Totally.
Now, I'm not expecting them to be competing with a 5090 or whatever. I don't think that's realistic. No. But what I am hoping to expect is a real competitor for the 5060.
100%.
Because I am just sick of Nvidia being like, yeah, I don't know, we'll just have the most basicest thing that would have been a 50 class card a generation or two ago. We're going to call it a 60 class card. It's going to be up to, what is the 4060 max out at for the TI? Like $500 or $600 or something like that? What's a 4060 Ti worth? I think the price has actually come down a little bit. Oh my god. Why is it so hard to just find a thing? It's $400 for an 8 gig 4060 Ti. Come on!
Yeah, that's lame.
So if I can get something Arc Battlemage with a decent frame buffer, with good drivers, I'm excited for that.
Oh yeah, me too.
Um,
I don't know if I'm 100% confident it's going to be Battlemage or if it might be the one after.
Celestial.
Yeah. But I hope it's Battlemage.
Anyway, moving on, Intel Lunar Lake. So this is crazy too. So we talked a little bit about how much performance gain they're expecting, both on CPU and GPU, to try and take the fight to both AMD and especially Qualcomm this gen. And you got to kind of wonder how much of that is because this is the first generation, because the first generation of these Lunar Lake chips are going to be primarily manufactured by TSMC. Intel says they made this decision because TSMC's fabrication processes were simply more advanced at the time they were designing the chip. What a slice of humble pie.
That's pretty wild.
The fact that...
That's not something Intel would normally say.
No.
True or not.
Like, I've said this before, Intel stock has gone down quite a lot since I said that if I was buying, I would be buying long Intel.
Yeah.
This actually doesn't change what I said. Because that kind of attitude...
Not investment advice.
Not investment advice, and I haven't bought any because I don't allow myself to just like trade tech stocks like that. I do own some stake in Framework laptops, as you guys know from the series of videos that we've done on it. And I do have a small investment in a it's hard to even call them a startup. They're very small. In a startup that is trying to work on a NAS operating system that makes things simpler. But that's it. I don't let myself just kind of play the market. But I like this humility.
Yeah.
I like this willingness to make the best product, even if it's not all real men have fabs. You know, like Jerry Sanders. That's a quote. Okay, that's like a toxic masculinity quote from Jerry Sanders III, who I believe was AMD's founder. Second or third? Jerry Sanders. Yeah. He's the third Jerry Sanders. There you go.
I really hope he's related to the Colonel somehow.
Thanks for that, Luke.
Stranger things have happened.
Good contribution. Anyway, they went with a rival foundry rather than compromise on the design of the chip. But next year's Panther Lake will be largely fabricated by Intel's own foundry. They've been trying to kind of say, okay, forget it. Let's just, instead of going incrementally, we're going to try to leapfrog. And on stage, they did show off their 1.8A process. They showed off, I think it was either a wafer or a die, I can't remember, but they were showing something on stage saying they have power on it. So, who knows? Maybe Panther Lake's going to be good.
Things are starting to move fast.
Meanwhile, at AMD, they have confirmed their stupid AI 300 series naming scheme for the new mobile chips, which are Zen 5, which is not stupid. The fact that we're getting Zen 5 like right away here on both mobile and desktop means that AMD is also probably getting a lot more fab capacity right now. Because they also announced Zen 5 EPYC chips, so they must have booked some wafers. They are claiming a 30% performance advantage over Intel's current gen flagship chip, though they did not include frame rates or percentile frame data. Unlike Intel, AMD will be retaining SMT or their version of hyper-threading and seem to be aiming for pure performance rather than efficiency. Now, that's something I've seen a lot. Like, I've seen people talk about that a lot. But I guess my counter to that is AMD already had the efficiency pretty good compared to Intel. So if I was them talking about my next generation chips, maybe less of my messaging would be about efficiency, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm expecting Ryzen AI 300 series to be inefficient. I mean, I think anything's going to look kind of bad compared to Snapdragon X. Okay, so in the video, spoiler, Alex holds up two HP laptops. His HP Elite Dragonfly or whatever it's called, his Dragonfly daily driver that he chose because of its outstanding battery life. Like, it's one of the best Windows laptops for battery life. And HP's Snapdragon X design. According to HP's own ratings, which Alex has found to be pretty honest in the past, it was something like a 10-hour difference. It was like 8 to 10 hours difference.
This is another reason why I feel like Microsoft might be pushing.
No. I'm not done yet.
Okay.
And the Snapdragon one had, I think, a 15% smaller physical battery. Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's like this has been the fairly notorious thing that gets thrown at Windows laptops, is that their battery life is atrocious compared to Macs.
Yep.
So if like this is another one of the solutions to those things, like, yeah, there isn't a huge amount of market share for Microsoft to claim back from Apple, but they might be tired of being like the butt of jokes when it comes to laptops.
Yep.
Like Windows laptops are just considered basically inferior.
They should fix Windows Modern Standby then.
That'd be nice.
Just an idea, Microsoft.
Kind of cool.
While you're at this push, which I totally support, I'm super down to have better battery life, right? Like,
I wonder if it'll be better on different chips. It could be.
I don't know. I mean, I hope so, because realistically, I'm not going to be switching to a Mac anytime soon. So no. I am fully in support of Windows laptops getting better. Now, I want to make this really clear, guys. The performance embargo for independent testing is not lifted. Yeah. So these battery life claims, I mean, they could be nonsense. I think that I doubt it. You know, like
Alex is saying that the claims that they make are decently, consistently accurate-ish.
Yep. That's on the HP side, right?
And
you've got all these partners that are staking their reputations
on similar claims.
Yeah. You've got, and what I'll say is that the vibe from Qualcomm.
There's
very confident.
That's an interesting. It's always kind of a tell. You mentioned that they sponsored.
Yep.
And that they were very not controlling of the messaging.
Yes.
That combination is almost always like, oh, this is good.
Yeah.
Because when they sponsor and they're like, we need to control everything you say, and then we don't work with that partner because that doesn't work. But when that situation happens, it's almost always because they like don't have anything.
Yeah. Whereas when they're like, yeah, we just want everybody to know.
Say whatever you want.
Just literally their points they gave me
it's such a power move.
Can you talk about performance? Can you talk about the NPU? So like the on-chip AI and Copilot, obviously, and battery life. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, how could I possibly
Those are the things that we would talk about.
How could I possibly talk about this product without talking about those things anyway?
Yeah.
And dude, the demo room was crazy because they have like DaVinci Resolve running in there. No, but like they've got Baldur's Gate 3 running in there.
Oh damn.
They've got like they had that used to be owned by Sony. It's now owned by someone else.
It's decently common that these demos will softball the applications that are running.
Yeah.
Which is why he's pointing this out.
Well, and because it's not x86.
Yeah.
Like this is Windows on ARM.
Things that were not made for this.
Yeah.
Like I don't think Larian like made a version of the game for Snapdragon chips.
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
Yeah. So dude. Also, they were absolute characters. I have no screen share right now, so you guys are going to have to wait to experience this. But I did a bit where I walk into the meeting, and here I'll try and kind of narrate along. When I walked into my briefing on Snapdragon processors with Qualcomm, I did what I always do and plugged in my laptop. And then we have them like
that's actually pretty funny.
Mock me for plugging in my laptop, and then they coax me back into the meeting room with a Snapdragon laptop and a sponsorship.
That's pretty good.
So they were absolute like totally fun. Had a lot of fun working with them. We've actually, I think, attempted to work with Qualcomm once.
Ooh, sorry. Someone just pointed out Baldur's Gate 3 is already available on Mac OS, so it's ARM.
Oh, okay.
Armored.
That's good to know.
But I do believe there's like compatibility layers for tons of different games and stuff.
Yes.
Not everything, but a lot of things.
And they had what's it called? Sony used to own it. That video editing suite.
Thank you, Imperial.
Vegas.
Yeah.
Vegas. They had Vegas running. Man, they had so much stuff running.
Premiere doesn't work. Is that correct?
I would be very surprised if Premiere barely works on Windows x86. No, seriously. You know that our away teams bring Macs.
Whoa.
They don't bring Windows laptops anymore.
Whoa.
Because Premiere is so much more stable on Mac, which I don't think is anything to do with ARM. I think it's just to do with just Windows versus Mac OS.
That's wild.
Yeah, sorry.
An interesting thing too, you had a narrative here of people trying to push for more fab capacity.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is somewhat always of a thing, but it's been more of a conversation lately. A huge amount of conversation, both on the floor for the limited time that I was there, and off the floor with a variety of people at the show, has been data centers, building new data centers, increasing how much you're harnessing current data centers trying to get out low-level clients because there's high-level clients offering 3 times the rate on things.
Man.
Like,
do you remember?
It's crazy.
Do you remember that data center zone property that I showed you like 5 years ago? And I was
Oh,
like,
dude,
and I was like, LOL,
Dude.
you should like do float plane data center.
you would have been balling. Well,
Oh well. And it was really small. Like the overhead of running a tiny data center, I think, would be super weird because, like,
as far as my understanding goes, scale is pretty helpful.
yeah,
Yeah.
because you're gonna have to have the security
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to have the administrative staff anyway. You can't just have like a few thousand square foot data center. But yeah, no dice. Oh yeah, and back then, like when even was that? That was during the like 2017 crypto boom. Yeah, 100%. Someone's like, it would have been crypto. Don't lie. No, 100%. The tenants would have been mining, 100%. But I was also, when I was talking to Luke about it, I mean, we had already been kicking around LMG VPN.
Oh, yeah.
We already had float plane going. So it was one of those things where, like, kind of like we do, we'd be spinning up a thing to be our own biggest customer. And I don't know, might have worked out, but realistically, I don't think that cash would have been that well invested there compared to some of the other things we did, just like growing LMG and all of that stuff.
A lot of people are posting a lot of things about the data center stuff. Someone mentioned data centers use a lot of power. Yeah. That's going to be a huge problem. If you've paid attention to some of the announcements that happened at this show, wattage per like device in a data center is erupting.
Dude, the new Blackwell GPU.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just talking the one GPU, which is 2 B100 dies. Okay, so a B200 GPU is 2 B100 dies, and oh god, I think is it 12 HBM stacks or 8 HBM stacks? I forget. 2 B100 dies and some HBM stacks. Nvidia is calling that one GPU. So they're doing multi-die GPU, kind of like we saw on Apple's Ultra SKUs. I hope that it works a little better than it does on Apple's Ultra SKUs. I don't know if you remember this, but we did a video on Apple's tools to help developers port their games over to macOS, and performance sucked. And a lot of the Apple community was extremely angry at us for testing on Ultra because it has problems. And I'm like, okay, well, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought I was putting Apple in the best position possible. And also, if you're mad about this, be mad at Apple, not at me. I didn't make their interconnect between their two like core designs, their two Maxes. I didn't make that. I didn't make it not work properly. Anyway, hopefully Nvidia's interconnect works a little better than Apple's. But this B200 should present as a single GPU. But I'm not done yet. A B200 is 1,000 watts. One B200. But I'm not done yet. Okay? Because a B200 is part of a Grace Blackwell super chip that operates as a single like chip or whatever, where you've got two B200 GPUs and then a Grace CPU on it. Okay,
I
and
love
that
the, like some amount of resentment in the like whatever.
and that is 2,700 watts.
Oh yeah,
Because we got 2 Blackwells and a Grace. Okay, but I'm not done yet because
It's rough.
each compute node contains 2 super chips in a 1U. I think Jake was saying something about how some of the partner designs are going to be an ever so slightly thicker 1U in order to get all the cooling in there. Like they're water cooled, but like I think they're creating like a 1U plus or something. Don't quote me on that, but Jake was talking to me about it. He's usually pretty credible about that sort of thing. But essentially a 1U. What does that work out to? Math.
Honestly, I forgot.
5,400 watts.
Wattage density in data centers is going to explode. Apparently, it's an issue where like some, fairly established companies that run big data are basically tapped for how much power they can get into their data centers. So that's another thing with the whole data center game right now is like new data centers are coming up in places where they can harness just absurd amounts of power.
And Microsoft's going to end up way ahead of the game with their like underwater data centers.
Yeah,
we're just going to have like a tidal data center. Okay,
tidal powered.
Like no, but the whole thing. So the whole data center's under the water for cooling.
Yeah,
and then like basically the tide comes in, and then like the wall of the data center comes up, and it's like a temporary dam, and then it just runs the seawater back through the thing for cooling and power, and then rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
We got this.
Yeah.
Like they're going to take up like the entire coast of freaking like Alaska with data centers or something. Like for real though. Like no, but also they're going to have to do something.
It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, so here someone did the math in Flowplane chat. This is crazy. 6,000 watts in a U of rack space would be over 250,000 watts per rack. It would melt.
We're starting to talk numbers that are just
like absolutely stupid numbers.
Yeah.
Like
multiply that by a data center.
My tiny data center in White Rock or whatever, it could have had 1 rack of Grace Blackwells in it in an empty room.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even think we could have gotten that much power in there.
Oh yeah, I doubt it.
Like here,
I doubt it.
How much? Do you know how much power we have?
Data center locations right now, as far as my understanding, are being chosen by proximity to nuclear power plants, specifically nuclear power plants.
That is hilarious.
And there's conversations going on about like being concerned that some nations aren't going to be building additional nuclear power plants fast enough to power all the data centers that are going to be cropping up. So that's an actual conversation.
Our power to the lab, which is a 20,000 square foot industrial building that was formerly used by
steel fabrication or something.
Yeah, some kind of steel fabricator.
Something, yeah.
Has about 200,000 watts coming into it.
And that was like a lot.
That's industrial,
Yeah.
So I could power not even an entire rack of Grace Blackwells. So it would just be an entirely empty shell. Imagine the lab.
with one super dystopian is just like in the middle of the whole thing.
One cabinet.
All these cables running.
Sitting in the middle of it. That's it.
That would be wild.
Hilarious. Just like venting all the heat out the roof or something like that. Like you could sit over it and like cook your food. It's crazy, dude. It's freaking crazy.
Yeah, data centers and power are going to be a huge thing. And if you are someone who is sad about the general power usage that we have going on right now, it's definitely not getting better.
With that said,
AJ just said that the Badminton Center has more power than the lab. I didn't know that.
That actually makes a lot of sense. The Badminton Center is 40,000 square feet.
Right. Okay.
It's two 20,000 square foot units, so it probably has considerably more power than the lab. Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Yeah.
Badminton Data Center. Here we go.
that we use not for logical things, but for analyzing gameplay.
Dude, I saw some demos at Nvidia that probably skewed the entire attitude of my coverage toward them this year.
Oh,
Okay, because like I know a lot
I
of
didn't
gamers,
go there at all.
I know a lot of gamers are super mad at Nvidia right now, and like rightly so.
Yeah.
Because Nvidia's apathy towards gamers has been apparent for quite some
I don't
time.
care at all. They didn't mention the keynote at all,
But
did
I don't know.
they? Yeah, I didn't watch it.
But dude, they had one of their Jetson like edge computing devices. It's like a new generation Jetson thing, and they had it running this like stereo camera capture majig, and on this data set that was trained on Blackwell or whatever. And basically, the demo was real-time wireframing.
So like
with
the
machine
stuff that
learning.
we want to do,
Exactly what I want to do at the Badminton Center for like
it's pretty useful.
stroke and movement analysis
Yeah.
and stuff. So one of the dreams that I have is every court having basically that, except trained on a data set of badminton play, so that you could like gamify your game, your gameplay. So it could tell you like, oh, against this opponent, you hit a lot of smashes, but their smash defense was actually really good, and you scored most of your winners with your drop shot. You did a
things-
drop shot 15% of the time. Maybe try doing it slightly more often. Like,
Oh, that's
dude,
interesting.
oh, so cool. And okay, they had some really cool gaming demos running too. And so like nothing I said was not true, but when I walked in the door
A little hyped up.
and I
for
saw
that.
it, I was just,
yeah.
I was a little
Screen
excited.
mechanics were strong.
I was a little excited, okay?
Yeah. Yeah, I even think things like, this might not be as interesting to you, but I think it would be pretty cool, is like endurance evaluation. Like having it notice like, oh, okay, once you're like 15 minutes into a game, your form on like this movement starts to falter.
Yeah.
Like that's really
Dude,
interesting.
you could use it for all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So cool.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously I'm going to need a small loan of $1 million for, some Grace Blackwell.
Yeah, but that's like, if you end up waiting, a little longer, and then it becomes the old tech, then it'll be a little bit more affordable.
Yeah, maybe. And I might have put, I think about 10,000 watts of cooling and power into the data room at the Badminton Center, just in case.
We'll get her done.
Just in case. And like, realistically, like, you wouldn't have to do the training on site. Like, you would probably lease time to do that anyway. Like, I don't think you would, at the scale we'd be operating at, I don't think we would be doing our own data set training anyhow. So as long as we have enough edge computing, it should be fine.
Yeah, we had conversations about like it might be wise to wait to do that for a variety of reasons, but the tech not being 100% there was one of them, and I think this just very
The tech's getting pretty there, pretty fast.
but it also like oddly specifically validated that thought. It's like maybe you should wait for it, then it's just like shown to you at a convention. Like I wouldn't have expected to see that at the NVIDIA booth.
Dude, and like it was so good. They had some 3D models rigged, and they were showing like just live movement to rigged 3D model. Like,
That's cool.
it's not perfect, obviously, but like it's
There's
real
a lot of
time.
stuff. There's a lot of stuff you're gonna have to deal with at something like a public badminton center. Like,
Dude,
what happens if like someone else walks on the court? Like weird things
Oh,
that
yeah.
you'd have to deal with
Oh, yeah,
for like
100%.
actually running it in production.
but our privacy policy from day one is going to be we're filming the inside of this facility, like it or lump it. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
And you know what? We're not gonna. We take privacy extremely seriously. We're not gonna misuse that data. We're not gonna sell it. But we're absolutely going to use it for the facility.
Would you potentially sell it to users of the facility?
Sell it to the like the gameplay analysis?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Then
Because like technically,
but that's not selling the data. That's selling what we derived from it. But we would be monetizing
what if
it.
you let people buy like, I don't know, replays of their games or something.
Well, that's not the data we're collecting, but that would be like yeah, but then you're buying your own replay.
But other people could be in the video.
Yes, this is true.
Even someone walking by the court.
Yeah, so we'll just have to make sure that our privacy policy does account for that.
I think there's got to be a way to make a distinction between. I don't know legal stuff.
Yeah,
I feel like there's got to be some way to make a distinction between like we will be potentially distributing, whether we're selling or not, clips to users of the facility of their own gameplay, and you might end up in it. Versus we're going to mass sell everything we have.
Yeah,
there's got to be a way to.
No, I'm sure we can handle that.
Yeah.
And realistically, because of the way the facility is laid out, each court will have its own camera, and you'll be able to see the one behind it, but they'll be pretty far away.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah,
because it'll be at kind of like a 45 angle.
Isn't there a wall?
No, but you'll see the one next to it.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yes, sorry. Yeah.
Gonna be sick.
Are you guys ready for some merch messages?
Analysis? Oh yeah, Dan, we have no idea what we're supposed to be doing, so you feel free to hit us with
where are the cards, Dan?
They got lost in transit.
Do it.
All right, let's see here. Luke, how is Final Fantasy VI coming along?
Yeah, Luke. Man, you suck.
My plan is to play it on the flight back.
Sure.
I brought the controller.
Sure. I finally tried Cuphead.
Yeah?
It's all right.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played
co-op though.
I played the first third of it according to the percentage. I think I'm good. I think I get it.
That sounds about right to me, to be honest. I think I played probably a similar amount.
The art style is super cool.
Yeah. I think it was worth it. Like, it wasn't a full price game.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I was happy with the purchase.
Yep, finally tried it. Are you still at what
No, I'm a little bit past there.
Where are you in the game now? You passed Zozo?
Yeah.
Okay, so have you done the Opera House yet?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I think I just got through Zozo.
Okay. Man, you're slow.
I'm slow.
Yeah. You're a slow boy.
I intended to play
I think
it.
I probably game more than you now. Sad.
Well, I don't. If you include Pokemon Go walks, probably not.
No, I don't think I do.
Oh well, then.
That's not a real game. You filthy casual.
That's fair.
No, I'm just.
It's kind of.
I'm being.
I am strongly opinionated.
I'm being intentionally toxic.
I saw a post on the Pokemon Go subreddit where someone was asking should I buy this apartment or something?
Buy this apartment,
and it showed the stops and gyms that were around the apartment. And there was comments like, if that gym is in range of the couch, then hell yeah, man. And I do not. Pokemon Go is a bad game. I think I can say that honestly, fairly objectively. It's not a good game. It's great at making going out for a walk fun. Go outside, please. I feel so separate from the Pokemon Go community because there's constantly stuff like that. People are mad that they can't remote raid more, which is being able to raid from your couch instead of going out and doing it. People are.
And we understand the accessibility argument.
Yes.
But a lot of those people.
That's not the argument for the vast majority of people. Yes. If that is the argument for you, heck yeah. Sorry, you can only do it so many times a day, but that's also really expensive. So, I don't know.
Oh boy. Cool. Hit me, Dan. Oh, wait. Do we need to explain merch messages?
Yeah.
Right. Merch messages are the way to interact with the show. They're going to be going to producer Dan, who I don't have a button to show him, but maybe he does. Wave to the people, Dan. Maybe. I don't know. Can't monitor the stream.
Stop it, Linus. Yeah, there you go.
Stop it, Linus. Okay. I am stopped.
No,
anyway, merch messages are the way to interact with the show. Don't leave a super chat or a Twitch bit or whatever. Leave a merch message. All you got to do is go to LTTStore.com, and in the cart, once you've added some items, loaded it up with some super awesome stuff from LTT Store, you will see a little box to leave a merch message. That will go to Dan, who will forward it to the appropriate person, pop it up along the bottom of the screen for everyone here to enjoy, who might reply to it himself, or he might curate it for me and Luke to read. We've got some cool stuff over on the store. Hey, look at that. speaking of, we were just talking about, hold on, let me see if I can, where do I even find this stuff? Hey, there they are. Oh, wait, I can't screen share anyway. We're relaunching our keyboard pins. So they're available in a variety of different colors, including... Ooh. Oh, we've got that one.
Sick.
Okay, our RGB color is sick. We've also got rainbow and gold and purple, yellow, and white, and pink, blue, and purple, and blue, pink, and yellow, and blue, pink, and white, and purple, gray, and white, all these cool color schemes. And they are free in the bonus bin with your purchase in any color and representation you like. Let's freaking go. Also, if you missed out on the Scribedriver last week, so that's our fail pen made out of failed screwdriver shafts, we are working on a restock. So you can sign up for a notification on the site. Make sure you guys do that. Dan, if you want to show them where the notify button is, that's going to be a good way to ensure that you get one. Guys, we don't mess around when we say, hey, something's selling really fast, you should get it. We're not doing like awful FOMO sales tactics. We're informing you that something is selling really fast, and if you would like to get one, then now is the time to get it.
Yeah, like I have an unfortunate situation where I actually wanted to. I can say this because he's not getting them. But I wanted to get the Scribedriver for like gifts for things like Father's Day.
Yeah,
it's gone.
Well, you should have moved faster.
I should have.
I mean, I did warn you.
You did
personally.
Live.
I really did warn you.
Yeah.
That they were running out.
And I was like, oh.
By the way, we missed a huge opportunity.
What?
I saw this on Reddit, I think it was. It should have been called the write-off.
Oh!
So many layers of meaning.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it sucks because you made like a pencil version or something. It's not as good.
Yeah.
It would need to be
because it was the shafts.
Yeah.
It was the write-off.
Oh man.
See how well it works?
Oh.
Huge miss.
Yikes.
Huge L.
It sucks when those things happen.
I know.
Because like the Scribedriver is an interesting name.
Yep. It's fine. But it isn't the write-off. Also, in other store news, we finally have the... Oh, man. Our cable management products under other. Where are they? Gear...
This is a problem.
Tools? Where is it? I thought it was under tools. Are they not under tools?
We have too many...
Oh, we have a whole top-level category for cable management. Okay, well, there's the problem. Okay, anyway, the cable tie holders are back in stock. We must have airshipped in some cable tie holders. So we finally have all of our magnetic cable management products in stock. The reviews are in. They're freaking awesome, which we already knew, but hey, now you guys have it independently verified. They're all 4.5 or pure 5 stars. Scribedriver reviews are in now as well.
Yeah, some people in the comments are saying they got it.
Flipping loving it. The people who are calling it overpriced merch are getting obliterated.
Get smashed.
Obliterated. It's actually been very satisfying to see how destroyed they're getting. It's like, dude, look, I'm sorry that you buy all of your t-shirts and underwear at Walmart. I'm sorry for that. Sometimes it can be nice to have one that's a little nicer. And I'm not going to apologize for our stuff being
I will even
more
say
expensive
the
than Walmart.
big crystal pens are super based. But if you want like a nice pen,
$30 is a really good price.
Yeah. There's different, like, this isn't trying to compete with a big crystal.
Deal with it.
And that's okay.
Deal with it.
Yeah.
Like even like the $20 t-shirts.
$20 t-shirts are pretty cheap.
Deal with it.
Yeah.
Actually, there's pressure on me to increase the price of the t-shirts.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, we haven't touched them since.
I know. I've mentioned this like a bunch of times because it seems crazy to me.
Yeah, our costs have definitely gone up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We absorbed it for a long time, but at some point, t-shirt prices are probably going to go up a little bit.
That probably makes sense.
So
I don't know of any other creators that have pricing around there, and
that's the other thing too.
Not to throw too much shade, but a lot of them are on bad.
Yeah,
length.
We take a lot of flack for the pricing on our store that is just stupid, honestly.
Like it was notorious for a long time. I think it has gotten better with creator merch in general. I think creator merch in general is better now than it was like 5 years ago.
Maybe. There's some stuff that's still pretty garbage.
Probably.
We secret shopped someone else's water bottle in the tech space a little while ago, and it was terrible.
I'm not surprised.
Like, I couldn't believe how bad it was.
But it's pretty common to get the cheapest and like they're not necessarily doing this consciously. They're working through another place that is actually like manufacturing the shirts for them, and that company that they're working with is providing the cheapest possible blanks. Just like feel terrible, the printing's really bad, stuff like that.
Sometimes it's not even their fault.
Yeah,
we ran into that a number of times where we would get good
the
samples.
manufacturers will just bait and switch you with samples.
Yep.
100%.
That was why we started Creator Warehouse, because we were so tired of that.
Yeah.
We couldn't control the quality of our own merch. I think that other creator that we secret shopped is like an investor in that merch company. I think that's probably the only reason they used them, because...
Trig in Floatplane
Really
chat
bad.
just said the Scribedriver pen is literally one of the lowest price, high quality bolt action pens on the market.
Yeah. And
Like it's
awesome.
not it is not competing.
And you know what? Some of our stuff is really expensive.
Crystal.
That's true. But I talked about this.
Quite right.
I talked about this in my video on the PlayStation Portal. It's expensive for
Yeah.
what it does. And if that doesn't have a value to you, that's totally okay.
Don't get it.
You can just totally not buy it, and that is totally an option. But what it isn't is overpriced, because like I broke it down, and people were so mad about this, which was bizarre to me. Like I broke down what the retail price for all of those components would be, and I'm like, yo, Sony isn't taking any more profit on this than they are already on their controller, or than, you know, sellers on eBay are on batteries and screens this size and resolution. And you can be mad that it's locked down, you know, that it's not hackable.
Sure.
Or you can be mad that it's an accessory for...
And that might make it a no-go for you.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But what you can't
Which is
say
fair.
is that it is overpriced, because that's just what that costs. It's like if you were to buy a gold iPhone case and it was $30,000 because it contains $25,000 worth of gold,
Yeah.
and like, you know, 50 to 60 hours of craftsman time. Well, that's not overpriced.
You just bought something a little crazy.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Yeah.
It's not overpriced. And that's a distinction that I'd like to kind of drive through more in our future videos. Like, I don't know. Something that I'm a little sort of disconnected from, I think, the rest of the tech media on is the state of the GPU market. I'm mad about it, that they're really expensive, but what people I think are not fully understanding is the forces at play. I mean, there are egregious examples. I talked earlier on this show about Nvidia's 4060 series. There's not enough RAM on the 4060. At that price, it should have more VRAM. Nvidia is absolutely taking that margin on it.
Yeah.
But with that said, the days of $139.99 like gaming GPU are gone. It costs so much to tape out at TSMC. So if you want that $139 GPU, literally your better option is to buy a secondhand one from a generation or two ago when that price level might have been attainable. And no amount of complaining about it is going to change that. It's going to change the market forces that are at play here. The fact that TSMC can sell that wafer for functionally unlimited monies.
Yeah.
Did you hear TSMC's chairman or CEO, whatever the guy's title was, was publicly mulling increasing Nvidia's pricing? It's just like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we've been looking at how much money they're making, and we think they could probably absorb a price increase. And you know what? I don't think from TSMC's point of view, who functionally has a monopoly on cutting edge node technology until Intel gets their act together. I don't think from TSMC's point of view, they're going to be like, oh, but what about the poor gamers?
No.
okay, if you're making GeForce, we'll give you a better deal. That's not going to happen.
Why would they?
Why would they?
It makes no economic sense to do so.
So it sucks.
It's not good.
It sucks a
It is
lot.
particularly very bad for us. We've talked about this a bunch of times, though. I lament often about how when GPU crypto mining stopped being as much of a thing, I was really hoping for a bit of a market crash so they would feel it a little bit. But then the AI rise it happened right at the perfect possible time, like the stars aligned, and just allowed them to never feel that hit.
They're either really smart or really lucky.
Or both.
Or both.
Yeah.
Realistically, for success, you need a combination of the two.
Yeah.
Which I guess leads us perfectly into our next topic. Nvidia is the number 2 most valuable company in the world with a market cap of 3.012 trillion with a T. This makes Nvidia only the 3rd company to cross the 3 trillion threshold. So it's Microsoft, Apple, and Nvidia. Nvidia stock appears particularly attractive to retail investors, so these are everyday consumers, rather than just professional portfolio holders, and they are likely contributing significantly to Nvidia's upward momentum. Much of the success is due to their AI chip portfolio, but Nvidia has also reached a new peak of 88% market share for discrete graphics. Holy crap. That is the highest it's been since the company was founded, which is kind of wild to me because AMD's products right now are like pretty good. I am still Radeon challenging.
Are you?
And I'm fine.
Nice.
Well, I committed publicly to skipping the 40 series.
Yeah.
And like,
you don't have any more driver issues or anything?
For the number of times I've been called a liar, I'm a pretty damn honest person. I said I'd do it, and I'm doing it, like I do. So
driver problems.
So in the LAN PCs in the basement,
yeah.
Last hurrah, I picked up used EVGA 30 series. So it's not like I don't have any Nvidia in the entire house or whatever.
Yeah.
But when the 40 series came out and was so uncompetitive,
your primary computer that you distribute to multiple screens across the house and use very often.
7900 XTX, baby.
Yeah.
Yep. And
like it's not a cop out that other computers in the house have other GPUs. He literally, like, when we went over to your place to play hockey, tape to tape.
Yeah.
It was your upstairs computer. Well, okay.
Actually, no. I ended up
it's
using
in the
this.
basement, I guess. Oh, did you?
Yeah, because I was
not at the LAN before.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my desktop.
Yeah, at the LAN it was this for a variety of reasons.
Yeah.
But before
I wanted to be able to use my computer.
Yeah.
If other people were in the theater. Yeah.
Logical.
But yeah, no, I was using my upstairs computer. Because the computer's downstairs, but the screen is one of the
That's
them
why I kind of like
hitched.
Because it's like he like usually uses it upstairs, but the computer itself is not there. Anyways.
Yep. And you know what? I had some issues with it at first. It's been rock solid smooth.
That's
lately.
really good. That's good to hear.
Yeah, it's been rock solid. At Computex, Nvidia outlined its roadmap for chip architectures with Blackwell Ultra in 2025, Rubin in 2026, and Rubin Ultra in 2027. They also showed off their upcoming RTX AI PCs with Copilot Plus features, though they seemed reluctant to use Microsoft branding of Copilot Plus PCs or to acknowledge that these RTX PCs are powered by AMD Strix Point CPUs. Fascinating. Discussion question here.
We want the glory and all of the glory.
Nvidia is clearly killing it, but does that really mean it's worth 1.5 Googles slash alphabets?
I feel like this is going to pop. I just don't know when. But not investment advice. I don't know. It just seems like too much. It feels like another version of Nortel.
Yeah, I was looking at this popped up in my Twitter feed. A comparison of Cisco's like meteoric rise and then leveling off. I mean, what goes up exponentially must come down at some point. But would I bet against it today?
Dude, if you shorted it when that first massive spike happened, and then this event happened and it went up again, you're hurting.
Yeah. Like that would be a really quick way for me to go completely bankrupt in like days.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know, man.
If you got the tea leaves on you, I suspect there's some big money to happen there, but I don't know. Not me. Not me at all.
And like
Who's number one?
number one is Microsoft. Not by much. Yeah, so let's see who ends up with the higher valuation, the shoveler or the shovel maker.
I was just gonna say the shovel seller has not yet surpassed the shoveler.
Yeah.
We'll see.
But I mean, in fairness, Microsoft has a lot of other stuff going on. What I want to know is like what's next for Nvidia, because Nvidia is one of those companies that values partnerships until
they don't really feel like it anymore.
Until they don't really feel like it anymore. Yeah. And I wouldn't say that they've necessarily Sherlocked too many partners, but they definitely
squeeze.
They're definitely go-it-aloners / squeezers. There's a reason Nvidia and Apple don't get along.
Too similar.
You can only fit so much ego at one negotiating table, you know?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I want to see what's next. Like, okay, look at the way Bitmain behaves about their mining hardware, right?
Yeah.
Or has, where they'll like literally
use it first.
Yeah. They'll create a new generation thing, and like at what point with their billions and billions and billions of dollars does Nvidia kind of just go, why are we selling this hardware? I mean, it's not like the thought never occurred to them.
Data centers.
What about Nvidia Enterprise now instead of GeForce now?
Ooh.
Why?
That's actually, in my opinion, that's stronger branding than GeForce now. Enterprise now is actually wicked branding. Holy crap!
It's not like they couldn't afford to build.
Imagine you're a startup and you're just like, that's the product I want. I don't know. The naming of that for a startup company as a product for a startup company is very strong.
And so I'm just looking at it going, why wouldn't they just take their first 100,000 Blackwell chips and just
give themselves even like a 3-month lead?
Yeah, just lease it. I mean, that's the same thing that ARRI does with their top level cameras. You can't buy their top level camera. They can't bin enough perfect sensors at that size or whatever the reasons for it are. The cost would be so high that they just like, no, you rent this. We literally will not sell it to you. So that way we can ensure anything, shot on Alexa, whatever hey, Andy, what's the one you can only rent? The RE65 or something like that. Yeah, you can't buy it. Oh, are you checking Enterprise now on GoDaddy?
Yeah, it's already bought.
Of course it is.
It's being camped by someone.
Yeah. Well, Nvidia can afford it.
Yeah.
Dude,
I'm kind of wondering if someone just sniped that. Like, well, we were...
No. There's no way.
It would have been pretty fast.
2 dictionary words, like 12 characters.
It was already taken.
Yeah, it's probably already taken. Man, I don't know, man. Does it mean it's worth 1.5 alphabets / Googles? Like here's the thing though. Like AI is going to be this tool that underpins everything. It's going to underpin Alphabet and Google's efforts to better target their advertising. It's going to underpin Facebook's efforts to, better understand everything about you and your life and target you. Like,
and to be fair, a lot of it already does.
Yes.
I think it's just like development in this space is accelerating extremely rapidly.
Yeah.
Enterprise trust in proposals and willingness to accept proposals of work in this space are almost blank check right now.
Yeah, I mean, look at Humane. The fact that they raised that kind of money for what was just obviously a stupid product. Yeah. Do you see that's one of our other topics today. You see they're trying to sell.
Yeah.
They have apparently been in talks with HP. I love our headline here. I'm going to credit Jessica with this. Might have been Riley, though. They both worked on the Dr. Freak, I think. Humane and HP, a match made in Hades. Humane, the company that made a reportedly bad AI pin, is trying to sell its business to HP for $1 billion, or roughly what Humane was valued at before their product launched and subsequently bombed spectacularly. According to an article from the New York Times, the company has sold maybe 10,000 pins, adding up to around $7 million in revenue. Several current and former employees told the Times that Humane's founders essentially banned internal criticism, disregarding warnings about product battery life, and even dismissing a senior software engineer who raised concerns about the pin. Add that to the fact that Humane has warned its dozens of users to not use the charging case anymore because of a fire safety risk, and I have no idea where they are getting this valuation from. Like, honestly, I think I would try to buy ICQ before I would try to buy Humane.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm actually not sure if I'm unserious about that anymore. ICQ just shut down. Like, is it for sale? Like, could I buy ICQ?
Who owned it?
I don't know. Wait, what's ICQ new? Hold on a second. ICQ new. Oh, hold on. Mail.ru group in 2010. Oh, I feel like the politics around buying it from a Russian entity
It's
right now.
VK, dude.
Wait, VK?
You're not. VK is like Russian Facebook.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You're not buying this.
Yep.
It's not gonna happen. I don't think they'll sell it to you.
That's a bummer.
I don't know if you'd want to.
Even if they would, yeah, I don't think we need to give money to the Russian government.
Yeah. What is ICQ now though?
I'll tell you what, Mr. Putin. Pull out of Ukraine, and I will consider buying your ICQ. Final offer.
I like that. Hell yeah.
Yeah, see? Chat likes the deal. Chat likes the deal. Mr. Putin,
It's a good deal.
Your move.
It's a solid deal.
Linus out here solving geopolitical problems. Yeah, 100%. All right, what are we supposed to be talking about?
It sounds like VK has been using ICQ as like Teams. You can chat with friends in VK Messenger and colleagues in VK Workspace. Oh, okay. Sorry, no. That's not branding. That's them saying what. No,
but they might have just used ICQ tech and then just like deployed it as a completely different product.
Yeah,
like Skype or whatever.
Yeah.
Dan, we never finished doing merch messages.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Derp.
No, that's right. We've got one more to do, and then we're about 15 minutes to sponsors as well.
Cool.
Let's see. Hey, Linus, can we get some of the details of how the GPU factory tour video was made? What was planning and communication like, considering you only had 3 hours to work with? Keep up the great work.
It was a lot of fun. Very chaotic. We had a 3-person team. Oh shoot, Andy, do you remember the name of that Powercolor rep that was super helpful and high energy and basically just like was a total Chad helping us get through there? Shoot. Yeah, great guy. He does PR there.
And he was very serious when he said he was a great guy.
Yeah, I'm really bad with names, but yeah, he was awesome. Apparently he started working there when he was like 18. He was just like, I'm going to work at Powercolor because I'm a GPU enthusiast, and he's just still there now, which is cool. He was a big part of helping us get that tour arranged. Framework was a big part of helping us get that tour arranged because Powercolor ended up being one of the... let me put it this way. At Framework's volumes, and with how high touch they are, right? Like you saw it in the factory tour, they had to create a custom rig for testing Framework's stupid rando, GPUs with their interface they invented, right? Like this is not, and when I say stupid, I don't mean stupid, I mean inconvenient, right? When you're set up for PCIe thingies, go into motherboard, weird pad interface with pogo pins and needing a rig that can, like walk onto it and stuff. That's like extra work. And I'm sorry, how many of these are you making? At the kinds of volumes that the semiconductor industry works in, someone like a Framework is a very, very, very small fish. They're doing great. They're growing. Rome wasn't built in a day, but they're a very small fish. And so the fact that Powercolor was willing to take them on was a big deal and was a big part of bringing the Framework 16 to market. So anyway, Framework has that relationship, and they helped to make that connection as well. And then once we got in there, man, it was like normally we would want to go around first, make a bunch of notes frantically, and then I would lock myself in a boardroom or something, put my headphones in,
and then kind of rewalk
for like a couple of hours, and then I would like write everything, and I would ask to have someone kind of nearby that I can sort of holler at and ask questions.
Yeah.
And then we would go back through and we would shoot like a scripted, like A-roll read, and then we would also capture all the B-roll. This time, basically, I just got a verbal briefing on what we were about to see, and then I got a a more detailed, like I kind of put in my head sort of how much time I wanted to spend on each one. And then I got any little details that pertained to each thing as we went. And then I didn't have a script. So people often ask, like, which videos are scripted, which ones are unscripted? Tell me, does it matter? Could you tell that video was unscripted? Maybe I should script less. I should find one that was scripted. Okay, could you tell the Noctua booth was scripted?
Yes.
Could you tell that the factory tour was not scripted?
I didn't watch.
Useless. Useless. Okay, I'm trying to hear from the other people, from the people in the chat. I don't know which one they're responding to. They're just saying yes and no. Useless. Might as well talk to Twitch chat at this point. Anyway, the point is that they would give me any little details that I needed for that particular chunk, and then I would do it, and then Andy would go and he would shoot like any B-roll bits that go along with it, and then Alex was there to be a backup note taker during the tour, or during the briefing, and then he was a note taker. He was our only note taker during the actual tour, and then he was also noting down the clip numbers for every section. So
nice.
Some eagle-eyed people noticed that video was actually uploaded within 24 hours of us completing the tour. It was kind of crazy to get it done because we wanted it to be part of our Computex coverage this year. So it was a little crazy to get that done. But Alex noting all the clip numbers was how Dennis, who was like, I have not edited an LTT video in about 2 years. Let's see how this goes. That was how Dennis managed to turn around that edit in just a few hours.
That's epic.
I did a review. We had to change some stuff. I had to shoot or record a small audio pickup on my lab microphone. He exported again, and boom, it was up.
I've got some comments. One is a challenge from Scrappy DP saying you scripted the walkthrough in the beginning of the factory tour.
I scripted the walkthrough?
This is a claim from Flipping Chat.
I scripted the walkthrough
of the factory tour.
Well, when I say scripted, I mean word for word scripted.
Yeah, not notes.
Yeah, I can show Luke the notes that we had at the beginning of the tour. This is the notes that Alex gave me before we started. These are the notes that I took. Hold on. Oh, wait, no, Alex has added a bunch of stuff to this.
None of this is a script anyways.
Yeah, so here's the SMT line. Yeah, I will read you word for word. This is what the video would have sounded like if I had read off a prompter. This is for the SMT line portion. Yes. Spray anti-static. Now that all of the components are validated, time to put them mounted to board. Anti-static shower, mount to boards. 9994. Each PCB gets pushed into the machine. 9999. Intake of PCBs. Soldering paste -0003. Scanning for paste inspection. Pick and place. 77,000 components per hour. Cutting edge machine nearly double the speed of their older machines on a typical line. This investment was made because small pilot batches are often done here, 15 minutes from their R&D headquarters, and speed and efficiency is a major factor in product development -0021. VRMs. GPU die placement -0030. Oven that bakes the solder to attach everything. Inspection CT scanning -0038. Final of SMT 0044. 0048. Some get stopped for inspection. 10 to 15% get sent to X-ray. Manual component placement put on tray, add capacitors. Flux spray, 0068, solder waterfall. Not quite a slide, 0074, final inspection. Probably 3/4 of that was added by Alex while we were going through on the actual
To
tour.
like help Dennis.
So a fraction of that was actually done before we started the tour.
Oh, Google Doc can go back.
Okay, here's the version. Hold on. Here's the version before Alex added notes.
I also want to say that you did the reveal before you asked if people could tell. So there was a considerable amount of people saying that they could tell on both. And I'm not saying that you're lying. But I do think that in a lot of cases, someone might notice that something feels different, but
Yeah.
they don't necessarily notice why.
Okay,
And then you're like, oh, this one wasn't scripted. And they're like, aha, I knew that was exactly what happened.
I'll tell you what. Why don't we play the game with some more videos? Did you watch any of our other coverage?
No.
What a
If I
guy.
can,
So you
if
watched
I can just jump in here.
Noctua only.
What are the numbers
what's up,
mean?
Dan?
What do the numbers mean?
Those are clip numbers
Slide,
that
slide.
Alex was adding as we were shooting.
Yeah.
So almost anything with a clip number was added as we were going through. So there was very, very, very little in the way of a script. Okay. Here, I'm just going to add a filter for, let's say, views more than 500,000. That should filter out anything that's just like unlisted or whatever. Okay, guys. Nvidia tour. Scripted or not scripted? Go.
Are we pulling them, Dan?
Why don't we do our sponsor spots while we wait for them to think?
You want to pull
Sure.
it, Dan?
Okay.
Yeah, or do sponsor
Let him
spots?
do the poll before we start going.
Okay, give me 1 second.
You can set up the poll, and I'll do sponsor spots. The show is brought to you today
not how
by
that works.
AG1. When cooking up your morning breakfast, chances are you're not including certain ingredients that supply your body with the energy it needs to get through the day. Our sponsor, AG1, can help with a simple and convenient way to get the vitamins your breakfast may have otherwise been lacking. As a Nesquik cereal lover? Yes. Their team is always trying to find better ways to source, test, and find the best quality ingredients available. And unlike other supplements that only reference research for specific ingredients, AG1's whole formula is backed by multiple studies done by third parties in double-blind, placebo-controlled environments. They're transparent with their ingredients too, so if you're not convinced, you can do your own research. A few of our team members even drink AG1 every day and have done so even before they were a sponsor. It's easy and satisfying to start your journey with AG1, and you can even get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase at drinkag1.com/WANshow. The show is also brought to you by Squarespace. There are a lot of different shapes that exist, like triangles, octagons, decagons, bestagons, but we're really into squares these days, thanks to our sponsor, Squarespace. Did they really script that in here? Okay, sure. Squarespace is an all-in-one platform that makes getting your website up and running easily and quickly. Just start with one of their award-winning templates and start building from there with intuitive drag-and-drop elements, a streamlined yet comprehensive asset library, and other features that are anything but square. Their templates are the foundation of their website builder, and they're flexible enough to fit your unique needs. Once your website goes live, you can use their advanced analytics tools to gain insight into where you can optimize and keep growing. And if you require assistance, Squarespace has useful guides and a 24/7 support team. So visit squarespace.com/WAN to receive 10% off your first purchase. And someone's mowing the sidewalk. Sorry for that unpleasant noise. The show is also brought to you by MANSCAPED. A bunch of our team is at Computex this week, and a big question we had was, how would we take care of their bits and bobs? I can tell you right now with some antiperspirant, but anywho. Luckily, there's Manscaped. Their Performance Package 5.0 Ultra has a whole slew of tools to help keep your landscape groomed. It comes with the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra, meant for keeping your sack whacked with dual blade heads. Okay, by whacked, they mean like weed whacked, not like struck. The Weed
Maybe
Whacker
both.
2.0 for trimming down those nasal nuisances, and also their Crop Soother and Crop Preserver to keep your grass smelling fresh and fragrant. They even include some bonus goodies, like a pair of their boxers and a toiletry bag. So go check it out for yourself at manscaped.com/WANshow and use code WANshow for 20% off and free shipping. While we're at doing promotions, let's just promote the end of Dan Week. Dan week is almost over. We had some Dan-centric releases this week, including, Dan, are you able to show your screen to show things? Is that a thing we can do?
Yeah, I can do web pages if you give me a minute or so.
Yeah, sure. In that case, why don't we do the poll results while I wait for that? I don't actually see the poll.
I can't do a poll.
I'm going to read through some responses though.
Integrations at the
Elijah said,
This is why I said you need to give him time before you started doing the sponsor spots.
"Oh, because he
has to live do the clips and stuff."
Oh, well, I don't know. Maybe he should grow a third arm.
Yeah.
Did he ever think of that? Dan, do you ever think of that, growing a third arm?
It's a reasonable response.
You'd think you'd be willing to like help the company, Dan.
All right.
I'm so sorry.
Inject some of that.
I don't have enough
forced
enthusiasm.
evolution virus.
Dan's doing great. Let's be encouraging for Dan. Let's go, Dan. Good job, Dan.
I don't
do you
need
want to
your
do
pity.
that topic while we wait for Dan?
Sure. Yeah.
Sure. Copilot Plus isn't for everyone.
Yeah.
Source: The Verge. Source 2: Microsoft.
Everyone.
Yeah. Strangely, Intel, AMD, and Nvidia seem to be hinting that the much-hyped laptops powered by their new chips won't launch with Copilot Plus features enabled, despite all meeting Microsoft's required specs, seemingly. Microsoft has likewise made statements seeming to indicate that Intel and AMD laptops will get access to Copilot Plus eventually. Some, The Verge's Sean Hollister in particular, have speculated that Qualcomm might have some kind of yet unknown timed exclusivity. In other Copilot news, Microsoft appears to be making its controversial recall feature opt-in instead of opt-out, which is good, but I still don't like their attitude about it here. The fact that they tried to make it opt-out, the fact that it was ever going to be opt-out, did not indicate a good faith effort for Microsoft to maintain the privacy of its Windows customers. Look, if Windows was free, like formally free, I might feel slightly differently about this. I still wouldn't like it, but I'd be like, that makes sense. Windows is not free. Windows costs $100. I know because I just bought a copy of Windows. Seriously. I bought a copy of Windows this week.
For what?
For a cool video that we did here.
Ooh.
We went to the tech mall.
Oh!
Yeah, buddy.
I'm very excited about this.
We went to the tech mall, and it was actually Jake's idea. He was
a good idea.
He was cruising in the tech mall, and he found this shop, little hole-in-the-wall shop. Like, I mean, literally hole-in-the-wall. I could almost put my arms from one side to the next side. That had this sick hardline water-cooled system in the front of it, with like this 3D printed League of Legends mask in it. And it just like, it looked flippin' awesome. And normally you walk up to those shops and you're like, I'll take that one. And they're like, no, man, that's like for demo. I can build you like a basic gaming computer.
Yeah.
I was like, I want one like that. And for my budget, I picked the starting price of a Main Gear, what is it? Whatever their hardline one is. Main Gear, hold on. Oh, hold on. Yeah, this is my autocomplete here. Yeah, I got this. Hold on. My internet's a little, it's a Rush. A Main Gear Rush, Apex Rush, starting at $51.19. So I gave them a budget of 170,000 new Taiwan dollars and basically was like, bro, I'm trusting you. I want it to look really cool like this one, and I want to game at 4K. I want to be able to play any game. So I gave him functionally the same budget.
Yeah.
And
I just looked it up. It's super similar.
I wanted to know what are you better off with? Are you better off with an Apex Rush, or are you better off with some hole-in-the-wall shop in Taiwan? And I guarantee you, no matter what you thought, the answer will surprise you. Really cool video.
Really?
Lots of fun. Yeah, I had an absolute blast. And you know what? I was having so much fun doing it. I was like, man, I wish I could do this kind of stuff more often. But I get recognized so much that I can't. It's hard to secret shop at home.
Yes.
Over here, there's a chance, right? Because people might not go to English media for their first choice for tech content, right?
Yeah.
But at home, whether you love me or hate me, if you're in the tech space, you've probably seen my sad Linus meme face at some point, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you've probably seen the mug. And so it's really hard to get away with just like secret shopping things, having the customer experience.
Some people pointed out that it's pretty funny that we have a Scrapyard Wars planned and we didn't just do it here when we were both here.
No, that wouldn't be, I don't think that would be the play. Because I think they want to see crazy rigs for the price. And I wouldn't be as familiar with the tools here. I think that at home we're going to have our best shot to put together amazing value.
All right.
Man, the budget for the gimmick, not cool.
Oh, I don't even know what it is.
Yeah,
So I can't even like comment.
the budget is not cool. But we're still gonna like make some money. But like, yeah, Scrapyard Wars is gonna be very expensive this time around. You're gonna have fun.
This is off topic. If you sit up, I can pull you've been sliding the thing back.
Have I now?
So you've been slowly falling backwards.
That makes sense. Yeah, if you don't mind, actually, that would be swell. Oh, I've been moving the whole couch.
Well, they're all in sections.
Yeah.
Moving one section.
Nice. Oh, wow, that moved a lot more than I realized. Oh, did I move it again?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's going to be how it is then.
And I got a screenshot.
But yeah, I'm excited about whatever it is because you keep talking about how cool it is, which makes me.
Oh yeah,
it gives me confidence that it'll be fun.
It's going to be really cool.
And I believe you that not knowing isn't really going to impact anything.
It won't.
Yeah.
I
I actually believe you.
Yep.
I'm not.
Yep.
Yeah. So
yes, I believe you.
yeah, I'm excited.
Anyway, coming back to what we were talking about, Microsoft. I don't like that it was opt out in the first place. I think that betrays an attitude that Microsoft has towards user privacy that is not okay for a paid product. But the fact that it is opt-in now is better. I'm going to opt in, honestly.
No,
At
you're
home.
not. Okay.
Yeah,
No. You do work stuff on that computer, don't you?
maybe.
Nope.
Well, it sounds really useful for me.
Do you have Sentinel on that computer?
I think so, yeah.
Nice, I can turn it off.
You really want to play this game?
Kinda.
Because I can uninstall Sentinel.
I can log you out of all your stuff.
I can...
You can't? Oh!
I can pull rank
That's kind of the whole
with
point.
Sean.
Probably
It's okay.
not.
I'm disabling Sean's account right now and turning off the
Okay,
computer
wait,
You
as
know
we speak.
why?
What can I
You know
do?
why? I don't even think because Sean would like listen to me over you or anything. I think because Sean would be like, yeah, no, that makes sense. He shouldn't have that on. I think he would agree with the idea more than he would like.
Okay, but every once in a while I read a really cool
I don't
article
know.
and I can't remember where I saw it.
Yeah, so
Like that one that I've been trying. Man, I keep trying to find this article. Someone wrote a really
or don't do work stuff on that computer.
Someone wrote a really good
What
essay.
you're going to.
But I'm changing the subject. Someone wrote a really good essay
I don't think
about
they can hear
how
me.
the housing market is like completely doomed. Like completely doomed, like even worse than it is now. And they basically laid out the value prospect of a house to a person who lives in it and why housing pricing made sense for a long time. And then how that value prospect changed. And that was why we got this like hockey stick, where it was not based on the value to me living in it, but it was based on the value to me renting it out. And then how it hockey sticked again, we're almost making our way to a horseshoe shape now, but essentially inflection pointed again when short-term rentals took off and the amount of value you could extract out of them was much higher, and how essentially we're heading towards, or we're in the middle of another inflection point where it basically goes up nearly infinitely as institutional investors buy, and they can have this like much, much longer outlook than any individual could ever hope to have, because it just becomes a total dollars in versus total dollars out game, as opposed to needing an immediate or timely ROI on a specific asset.
But just because I don't think Full Plane Chat's going to give it up. Dan, were you trying to tell him that he can't uninstall it?
I don't know. I was just making sure that we can actually communicate. We had some issues during the pre-show as well.
Yes, we can. You're just super quiet. So in case
All
you
good.
didn't hear it, I pointed out that while that might be true, he can uninstall Windows. He's a crafty man. He could find a way.
Yeah, sorry guys. This isn't it. It was an essay A couple of people tried to send me something.
Mm.
It was really good. It was really good. It didn't contain like the terms hockey stick or anything like that. It was basically just like a breakdown of why it's basically going to go to the moon. And fortunately, things are softening up a little bit here. There's both industrial and residential are finally not just inexorable march towards infinity, but I don't necessarily think that it is permanent. I don't think that it's a permanent change.
This is a aggressively off-topic thing to discuss,
Sure.
but I'm just gonna go for it anyways because you're talking about.
I'm kind of done with the Copilot Plus chat anyway.
This isn't even sort of tech,
Oh, okay.
but I find it insane. Have you read this? Have you heard about this?
I saw a headline.
We don't have to talk about it.
Yeah, I saw a headline. Just read the headline.
The headline is Parks Canada says 84 deer were killed in an $834,000 cull using a sharpshooter and a helicopter.
Did you say 84,000? I think you mean
$834,000.
$834,000 cull. Deer? Really? The headline that I saw was like, hunters, we would have done this for you for free.
Yes, and have in the past. This is an established thing.
Look, somebody wanted to go for a sniping helicopter ride.
And they wanted the government to pay for it.
I promise you.
There's a bunch of other kickers. Like it's a Canadian government paid thing, but it was an American company, obviously, that did the helicopter hunt. So like it wasn't.
Did they sell tickets?
It wasn't even government funds that went into a Canadian company.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing is just like.
Elijah, bro, I want to do this. It
Go to
sounds
Texas.
lit.
You can do it with boars. It's a thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
You don't even have to use a sharpshooter. You can use a minigun.
America.
Texas boar.
Our southern friends.
Helicopter machine gun. Heli Bacon. It's the company name. Wait, so you telling me you've never shot a machine guns from a helicopter? Is their tagline on their website? This is like absolutely a thing. Apparently there's like actually insane boar like infestations in that part of the state, so they like actually need to cull them. Like it's a huge actual problem.
Hilarious.
But then there's been more or less like tourism/activity industries sprung up around it through these companies that will bring you along on tours to get rid of the boars, which is something that the state needs. But I don't know what happens though. Like what if your company and livelihood that you've invested helicopter dollars into is reliant on these boars existing?
Are you taking half of your funds and putting out boar food?
Yeah.
You know?
Like I don't know. I'm not saying that's happening, but like it's an interesting being in a field where you have commercialized stopping an infestation.
Yeah.
That
isn't that just the pest control industry?
Maybe. I mean,
Essentially?
Alberta got rid of rats. I guess it can technically happen. Have you seen the map of like where rats are in the world?
No.
It's just everywhere except for Alberta. We're on some weird topics right now.
Where are rats in the world? I just assumed they were everywhere.
Yeah.
That is hilarious.
There's just a spot.
So I actually did not know about this. It rings sort of a very, very vague bell. But what did they do?
They like got rid of rats. I don't know.
But like, what, rats can't walk there now? Like,
yeah,
I don't really.
I don't know if it makes any sense.
I don't really follow
into it. But yeah, like apparently an actual thing.
Huh. Okay. Exolocity, yeah. If I ever find the essay about housing prices, I will let you know. But I've tried digging through my history. I've tried searching for the way that I usually find an article is I like remember a sentence in it, and I just like Google that, and it usually brings it up. But I just couldn't. Extensive rat surveillance and extermination things in Alberta.
Yeah, they're like super hardcore about it.
Yeah, just use
They, like,
recall. See,
actually did it.
that's what I was talking about. That's
No.
why I would find recall useful. Mind you,
You can absolutely use
I
recall
read it on my phone
if
anyway.
you would like. If you would like on a, why don't you look in your history on your phone?
Because by the time I remembered, it had like faded out of it. Yeah, bummer. Yeah. Also, I think stuff that you read in your Google feed didn't like used to show up in your history properly.
I don't think it still does it?
No, it does now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it might have been at that time or something. I can't remember. What are we supposed to be talking about? Dan?
Oh, we got some more merch messages to do.
Oh, that's right. We're supposed to be talking about Dan. Dan Week.
Oh, yeah.
Dan Week is almost over. And Dan was supposed to show you guys some Floatplane exclusives that have Dan in them.
Yeah, we got all of these exclusives. There's more coming all the time.
Okay, so they're looking at it. So we have a video on his cappuccino, which is not a beverage. It is, in fact, a car. It is barely larger than Dan himself. We have a video with your most asked Dan questions. All of these are getting rave reviews, by the way. And a video about his new desk. I'm supposed to ask Dan, how was the filming experience like for you, these videos for you?
It was pretty good. Sammy had put together a long list of questions and basically had everything, gotten ready to go, and it was pretty good. I kind of got to pick a few topics that I thought would be easy to film and were kind of off the cuff and fun, and yeah, it went very smoothly.
Cool. Dan is apparently going to be signing some products: one stubby, one screwdriver, one desk pad, and one bread plushie live on stream. It says not all the items.
I've got
please.
a few more.
I don't even know what that means.
Like just one of each is what.
Got it.
Saying.
To enter for a chance to win these, you've got until Sunday, June the 9th at midnight to sign up for the giveaway items. You can find the sign up link on any of our Dan Week videos on Floatplane. Okay, for sweepstakes though, we have to have an unpaid entry option. So, Dan, can you please find out the T's and C's of how people can enter without paying? Maybe we could provide the link in the chat here or something.
Sure, I'll have a look. It should be probably all on
legal
Floatplane.
sweepstakes requirements. Okay, we'll figure that out. And we're supposed to ask the audience, what kind of future content weeks would you guys like to see? More people weeks or themed weeks, or let us know. Leave a comment on where the heck can they do that?
The forum? I don't know.
Yeah, leave a comment. Oh, add us on Twitter. The social team will see that.
Yeah.
Or you can make a thread on the forum. The social team, the community team should see that as well. Yeah, those will work. Thanks for supporting Floatplane. You can also leave a comment on the VOD for this WAN show if you're watching this in the VOD. We have some remaining charity stream items. lmg.gg/charity leftovers. We've got a Corsair showcase build, a short circuit hoodie bundle. We've got just 5 items left, so check them out. And we're going to keep adjusting pricing until we sell these because we got to raise that money, raise that cheddar. All right. Dan, is it merch message time? Or wait, we were going to get that poll. What happened to the poll?
I don't know. There's been a lot to do right now.
Cool. Why don't we do another topic and buy Dan some time?
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll do a
Topic
poll.
for Dan time?
Sure.
Dan's going to have some
we
Dan
got
time,
merch
okay?
messages to do.
Okay, sure. We're going to have some merch messages. Forget Dan time. Okay. Got him.
I can ask the merch messages if you want to set up the poll.
Yeah, I mean, I can.
Oh, yeah, I don't have the dashboard up.
I can kind of do both at the same
I got
time.
the dashboard. I'm asking you a question. I'm doing it.
Okay.
I'm doing the thing.
Okay.
Let's go Taiwan show. What's the most pointless thing you saw at Computex this year?
Man, I didn't see that much.
Me neither.
I didn't really make it to the show.
Yeah, I got I'm gonna completely take over this because neither of us really saw too much of the show. I got my first swag item I've gotten in probably like 7 years.
Oh, yeah?
It felt like I just snorted meth and cocaine at the same time.
Oh, just the hit?
Oh, it was amazing.
The rush of free stuff?
Just garbage too.
You know that you get so much free stuff from work,
Oh
right?
no, but not just trash, Like it was a branded bag that's like this big. Like there's no chance I want that. It's like basically one use. The little clasp on it is already breaking. Inside was some coconut flavored snacks that I don't want. And then there was a voucher. And the voucher looks like a bill for 300 NT, Taiwanese dollars. I was like, that's weird. That's not a denomination that I think exists here. And then I realized that it's like, oh, if you spend, I think it's like 16,000 NT, then you can use this voucher for 300 at like Taipei 101 or something. I'm like, well, that's not happening. So it's all just useless. And I was like, yes, we're back. We're back at shows where they just give you things for no reason that no one wants. It was amazing. It was actually like,
I don't think
good.
I can support any of this.
Oh, of course not.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Dan, the poll's wrong. Also, this is hilarious. The poll is, was the factory tour scripted? Which I already told you guys it wasn't scripted. So the fact that so many of you are wrong either means that you are... Well, they could have tuned in later. But it was supposed to be the Nvidia tour.
I actually love that he did the poll this way. Because that proves a really interesting point.
That people don't listen at all.
And that I think, you know, some of the people that said they definitely knew on both videos.
Yeah.
Maybe some after the fact.
It's Floatplane though, so they're probably messing with us.
All Firefox users.
Yes, 100% of the time.
Yeah.
You know what though? Be careful in YouTube comments though, because I have started perma-banning anyone that like asks a really stupid question that was answered in the video.
God.
Like if someone's like, was this booth tour sponsored by Noctua? They're perma-banned.
Yeah.
You're gone, you're out. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna
The quality of the comment section must go up. There will be some losses along the way.
Have you read comments on any of the Computex coverage?
Skimmed a little bit, seemed pretty strong.
I think what I'm doing is working.
Yeah.
Where it's basically just like it's like a bad faith filter.
I think you have to in modern internet. There's too many tools for people with bad faith to be super annoying.
Lunar Jimmy asks, do you do perma-banning on Floatplane? The answer is yes.
Yep.
We do. We are still very open to feedback and criticism, and generally speaking, I find the criticism on Floatplane quite constructive. And
it doesn't happen often.
Bannable.
Generally, the Floatplane audience is
But if
really
we
good.
had, say, for example, a lady on camera, and you're behaving in a way that is inappropriate and unbecoming of a member of the Floatplane community,
makes them uncomfortable with
you
good
will
reason.
find yourself with a perma-ban like that.
Quite quick.
So there's definitely things
that is probably the most common scenario.
Yeah.
Is exactly what was just laid out.
You post some thirsty stuff about him or whatever, though. I don't give a
I don't
shit.
care. None of us care.
Oh, I don't have my beat button, but yeah. I think I made my point. Literally not a protected class in any way.
Yeah.
A bearded, cis, hetero, white dude. You got blue eyes for crying out loud.
Hey.
You're like, literally, forget it.
I also genuinely just don't care.
Yeah, that's a big part of it too. Is like,
but we're not just because I don't care.
Yes, doesn't mean it's okay for everybody.
Yes,
I also don't care. Like whatever, talk about how short I am. We literally have sponsor partners that make fun of my height. Like I'm not.
If you're gonna make an assumption about anyone else, though, you should assume that it's not cool.
That's not cool. Yeah. Okay. Was the Nvidia video scripted? 62% say yes. 38% say no. I will bring up the script.
Okay.
Nvidia Blackwell rack. Here we go.
I'll be able to make a determination.
Okay. Da, 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 da. Okay. Da, 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 da.
Okay. So partial?
Pretty scripted, and then devolves into notes.
At least the beginning, it felt like it was, becoming slightly less over time, and then there's a fairly sudden jump to no.
So any of the yik-yak I was doing with the demos and anything around G-Assist, as well as the conversational demos, I wanted to be able to have conversations and interact with the thing. So it's a lot harder for me to read a prompter when I'm interacting with a computer. So there's no real point anyway. So you guys are about right. it was about 62% scripted and about 38% not scripted.
I enjoy that it was a bit of a trick question.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. We have fun here.
Yeah,
You know, we have fun. We have fun with you guys.
It's nice doing curveballs like that.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
All right.
What are we supposed to be talking about? Dan,
Archive.
were we supposed to be doing merch messages
I
right
think
now?
we're doing merch messages.
That's
right,
right.
right. Okay.
Good evening. What's your assessment on the cost/benefit of expositions and conferences in the modern day and age?
Man, it really depends what you're doing, right? Because if you're Apple and you're courting developers and you want to get everyone on the same page about all your tools, you got to do WWDC, like absolutely. As for, I think, like fan expos and stuff like that, I can tell you from personal experience, the economics have gotten a lot more challenging. If you're a big established expo, you can probably still make it work with big sponsors. But like in the age of digital advertising, I have questioned for a long time what the value exactly is of booth presences at some of these expos.
There are
tough to
absolutely
measure.
still expos that are killing it. I mean, we're seeing numbers of booths that aren't, like half a hall. Like sometimes at PAX you get like the Microsoft booth or the Sony booth that takes up like just an enormous amount of space. So not booths that are that size, smaller than that cost $600,000 just to show.
Yeah, but man,
that's not every.
It's tough, right?
That's
Apparently,
every
PAX West actually lowered prices this year because they finally didn't sell out.
Oh,
Because remember, too, people's disposable income, the middle class is dying.
Oh yeah, badly.
So like you're kind of getting eaten away at both ends as an expo, where sponsor dollars are getting more challenging because you can reach an audience so much more effectively just digitally. And then people's disposable income for things like getting on a plane to go hang somewhere for a couple days. That's tough. I mean, that's why we downscaled LTX to just hopefully doing whale lands, assuming we can get the city of Surrey on board. At some point, by the way, I'm burying this super deep in a WAN show because my purpose is not to, raise a bunch of attention at City Hall right now. But at some point in the future, if there's any of you that are in the city of Surrey, we may create a template letter. And we may ask you guys to kind of get involved in this. Not now. Especially don't do it now, because I'm going to have a meeting with the mayor probably in the next couple of months.
Cool.
We want to just do this without putting... Well, no. Sending letters to City Hall
wrong word.
is absolutely doing things right. Yeah. But it's an escalation that we are not ready to take yet. But we believe very strongly that if we're negotiating with the city in good faith, that
before brigading, it's nice to take proper, more measured steps.
That there is no reason why we shouldn't be able to host a civil, not like one of the concerns that was raised with us was noise.
Huge.
Get real.
Yeah.
It just shows a fundamental misunderstanding of what it is, and non-elected officials, like the bureaucratic employees of the city, are far less incentivized to listen to anything. So if they don't know what a LAN party is, they don't. And some of them are really great. Some of the ones we've dealt with are outstanding at the city of Surrey. Some of them clearly don't care, right? And so, you're far less motivated as a non-elected official to invest time in figuring this out. It's a lot easier to just say, well, that's not on the zoning ordinance or whatever. It's not on the zoning bylaw, so forget it, right?
Yeah.
But we don't see any reason why as one-off or multi-off, but small off, few off events, that we shouldn't be able to do this. And we've expressed willingness to work around challenges. So you say noise complaint. We say, okay, we'll shut the door. You say parking concern. We say, okay, let's figure out messaging around, rideshare and public transit only. Or let's figure out a nearby flat piece of land, the owner of which we can negotiate parking in a small shuttle or something.
There are solutions to problems.
Life should be improv rules, and there's no such thing to me in business negotiations, right? There's no such thing as no. If there is a benefit to both sides, it should be yes but or yes and. Improv rules.
Yes, but these are my various problems.
Yes,
Give the other side the opportunity to make proposals
to handle
solve
the
those
objection.
problems. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's what we want to do. We want to figure it out. People are asking, main thing is to showing them what's in it for them. Oh, there's absolutely stuff that's in it for them. They want to be on the map for gaming and esports. That's what's in it for them. So if we do some tournaments and stuff, and I'm absolutely willing to play ball.
Little beauty pageant here or there.
Yeah, I'm absolutely willing to play ball, but we're not gonna do it at a different venue.
Yeah.
Because that's not what we're set up for. That's not what the economics can support. We've made an investment into a building, and for us to build it out once, put all the networking and power in, and then be able to reuse it over and over and over again, that makes sense. For us to go in somewhere else, haul all of our stuff in, haul it all out, for the kinds of ticket prices that the market will bear for these types of events, it just doesn't make sense. We can't.
Ticket prices for LANs make no sense.
Yeah.
People run, if there's a LAN going on, it's being ran out of passion. It's not a profit thing.
Yeah. All right. What were we supposed to be talking about?
We're just on merch messages.
Yeah, I just forget what it was. I forget what the merch message
I have
was.
no idea.
Hey, look, a wild Dennis appears. Come say hi, Dennis.
Hi, Dennis.
The big room.
Hey!
Nice. Yeah, Dennis was up till... How late were you up editing that factory tour?
Oh my god, 3:30.
3:30. Nice. Nice. Nice.
What's up?
You stay out long.
Yeah, I know, because I had to review it after. Good stuff. Okay, what are we supposed
Next
to be doing?
message.
Oh, yeah, right. Hit me.
Hi, Dan and LL. I came for the merch. I came for the quality products. Have you seen anything on the current trip that you think is groundbreaking new tech or huge advancements in existing tech?
I mean, yeah, it's got to be the Snapdragon mobile chips. And again, the only reason I'm mentioning it is because of the proximity. Qualcomm did not sponsor anything about this video. I can say whatever the hell I want. But they did sponsor a video here at the show that isn't out yet. And I don't want you guys to be surprised by that. But genuinely, on this show, not sponsored by Qualcomm in any way. Damn.
Yeah.
One thing I'm really unhappy about is the move towards soldered RAM.
Yeah.
Lunar Lake.
Are they both?
Lunar Lake is soldered.
Both?
Snapdragon X is soldered. And I think...
Me saying both might be confusing. Usually there's two sticks.
I think the new Ryzen AI 300 series is all soldered.
Soldered.
It's all moving to like either on package or near package soldered to the board memory, just like we saw with Apple Silicon.
I get it, but I don't like it.
Yeah. And like that new desktop form factor was very surprising. Cam 2. I'm actually pretty stoked on that because I didn't see it coming on desktop. Like I saw Cam happening on laptop because that was where I thought it was intended for, to avoid soldered memory. But instead, we're taking soldered memory, which is going to be even slightly shorter traces than Cam, and we're just doing it on laptops. And then we're taking all those benefits of the development of Cam and putting it on the desktop. So we might be able to see faster desktop memory thanks to this. But yeah, I was very surprised to see full-size desktop motherboards with support for Cam memory. There, that's one that I'll say an unexpected advancement.
And last one before I let you loose on a final topic. Question for Linus. I'm marrying my high school sweetheart dated
That's
when
not a
we were
question.
17, but we're now both 26 in 2 weeks. Do you have any advice on writing vows? My fiance has asked me explicitly not to use chat.
Yeah, don't use chat.
Writing vows. Man.
She has the correct opinion.
What'd you say?
She has the correct opinion, or they have the
Oh,
correct
I thought you
opinion.
said she is the breath of me or something like
Whoa.
that. I was like, wow, I mean, wordsmith Luke here. I'm
Not writing it for you.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that particular turn of phrase, but...
Something I can say in regards to using chat would be that you can ask it what it feels about what you wrote or what it took from what you wrote, but don't have it write it for you. This is supposed to be...
Yeah, I would say the most important thing for me, and this is going to be maybe out of left field,
I know.
but the most important thing is an anecdote.
Oh, never mind.
Tell a story.
Yeah.
Because everyone says how much they love them. Everyone says, or at least if you're writing halfway, functional vows, everyone says,
This is what I thought you were going to talk about. Is some vows are just like stupid.
how much you love them, how you're going to be with them forever. I mean, I think that's like implicit.
Yeah.
And yeah, not everyone makes it work. So like, you should definitely still say that that's the intention. Thumbs up, But I would say the best vows that I've heard are the ones that tell a really great story that,
Encapsulates like why.
yeah, that is the story of the relationship. Like, on the third date when you like were eating spaghetti and you laughed so hard you snorted actual spaghetti like up your nose instead of a drink. And you asked for a napkin and she laughed and was like, no, it's funnier. I need to take a picture first. I'll give you one after, and that was the moment we knew we were made for each other. Tell me why you were made for each other. That's what I want to know. Don't tell a long story. Tell a short story. Keep it short. And this is key. Make sure she cries. If she doesn't cry, you haven't done it good enough. You want to hit her right in the feels. So make sure that the story is, and this is counterintuitive. Okay. So the story should be super meaningful for her, but it should actually be the one that's most meaningful for you. It should be like why you can't live without her. And that's gonna hit way harder.
Make her care more.
Yeah. In the feels, you guys.
Yeah.
In the feels.
Yeah.
Make them cry. No, it's okay. Good cry, happy cry, for crying out loud, you guys. You're killing me here.
For happy crying out loud.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Lace your vows with onions.
Oh boy.
Make the paper out of onion.
One thing that I would say, which I stole from you, I think, is a lot of the worst ones that I've witnessed is when they'll dwell on it's been really hard.
Oh
sometimes.
Yeah, I don't want to hear that.
It's not the time.
Yeah,
not the time. You guys can have those conversations.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah,
talk things through. That's
totally.
super important.
Not the time.
But when you're
up there in front of everybody,
yeah,
and they're up there in front of everybody, and you're talking to them, and you're like, you kind of sucked a lot.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
And you can do that at the wedding. Absolutely. When you give your speech at the reception.
Oh, yeah.
By all means,
sure.
Tell a funny story about finding X-rated materials on their computer and it being something you wouldn't have thought they were into, or whatever.
You can do funny jokes at that time.
Yeah.
But that's a pretty particular moment. You don't need to dig in that moment.
Yeah, not in that moment. That moment is for the moment you knew.
Yeah. Yeah. Next up.
Yeah, talk about the tense prenup negotiations. Yeah. That's not in the vows, okay? That's not in the vows.
Oh, goodness.
Sheesh.
I got to get you guys out of here in about 45 minutes, so why don't you do another topic, and then we'll move into After Dark.
Okay, topic time. Google leaks leak. An internal Google database of thousands of security incidents flagged by Google employees between 2013 and 2018 has given rare insight into how Google manages these issues. The document, acquired by 404 Media but confirmed to be authentic by Google, includes reports of accidental recordings of children's voices, a major leak of the itineraries and home addresses of Waze carpool users, and an exclusion software failure for Google Maps resulting in the accidental creation of a database of thousands of geolocated license plate numbers. These incidents were typically reported, investigated, and resolved at the time that they happened, but only a few were previously known to the public. There were also more long-term breaches, such as an incident following Google's acquisition of Socratic.org, where around 1 million user emails from the company were publicly exposed for over a year. One relatively harmless incident involved the 2017 leak of the announcement of Nintendo's Woolly World 2. a Google contractor downloaded the private announcement from Nintendo's YouTube channel using
Whoa.
admin privileges and sent a photo of the video to a friend who then posted the screenshot to Reddit. Not only did this friend admit to getting the photo from a friend who works at Google, the URL in the image started with www.admin.youtube.com.
Oof.
In other news, replace your own job with AI. In an interview with The Verge, Zoom CEO Eric Yuan recently suggested that Zoom should eventually have a feature that allows you to, instead of replace the background, replace the foreground, delegating your meeting to an AI-powered digital twin who could create a summary for you. This AI double would likewise respond to emails and answer calls. This seems to be more than an anthropomorphized note-taker, however, as Yuan seems to suggest that these features would operate with minimal oversight and users would be delegating a significant amount of decision-making and responsibility to these digital avatars. Hilarious.
Oh boy.
Less hilarious, Adobe. This Wednesday, users of various Adobe apps received a pop-up notice that Adobe's terms of service had changed, warning that Adobe may access your content through both manual and automatic methods.
Yeah, this is ridiculous.
This is pretty bad. The specific updated section of the terms of service that went into effect February of this year says content you store or process on their servers may be analyzed using techniques such as machine learning in order to improve our services and software and the user experience. Two main concerns arose from users. Professional creatives who do work under NDA were concerned about Adobe accessing confidential information, and many users were concerned that their content, their creative work, would be used to train Adobe's Firefly AI.
Which it, absolutely will be.
Adobe has since issued a statement clarifying it does not use customer content to train Firefly and does not assume ownership of the customer's work.
Yeah,
Yet.
sure. Yeah.
Yet. They didn't say the yet. I'm adding the
It's
yet.
a really easy goalpost to move.
The company further states that the purpose of the updated terms was to clarify the addition of more human review to pre-existing moderation processes that scan for illegal content. Well, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I don't like that at all. The car thing. We got to talk about that.
Sure.
According to tech YouTuber, Anno Raker, or Josh Hendrickson, who did a deep dive into Spotify's car thing device, Spotify had already taken several steps to open source the car thing, even before the current deactivation controversy. The device runs on Linux, and its U-boot source code and Linux kernel are available on GitHub. Likewise, its Amlogic chip allows users to easily access boot ROM mode, run their own code, and add custom software. Hendrick theorizes that Spotify wasn't interested in making this easy open sourcing more widely known because the device is essentially a potato with a weak Amlogic processor, 4 gigs of eMMC storage, and only 512 megabytes of RAM. Its hardware is too limited to do much above its current intended purpose.
I mean, the part that bothers me isn't that it can't do much beyond it. It's that Spotify tried to brick it.
People have already shown that they can do what they want with it.
Do it, yeah.
Yeah. So
the intended purpose was fine.
Yeah. It doesn't really matter that it's a potato if all it needs to be is a potato. Potatoes are cool. I like potatoes.
I'm
It's
dead.
good.
Apple's holding WWDC next Monday, and the company reportedly plans to announce how it will integrate AI, Apple Intelligence, into their upcoming products. Yes, their AI system will be called Apple Intelligence.
It's cool.
Because that won't be confusing at all.
I mean, it's just as useful of a name as artificial intelligence right
Okay,
now.
that's true. We've got a video coming on how AI is a lie.
Yeah.
And it really is.
Yep.
It's really cool what we're doing, but it isn't
There's a lot of cool things
AI.
happening.
Yeah, it was written by Emily, so she basically went through and
Nice.
was like, here's what you think AI is, and here's what it is, and here's what it's really good at, and here's what it's not good at. And
That sounds like a good video. I really liked the de-Googlefy your life video.
Yeah.
Seems like other people did too.
Part
I'm excited
two's
for part
coming.
2. Yeah, I'm genuinely pretty stoked for part 2.
Non-AI announcements, around half of the presentation, will apparently include improved customizability for iPhone, as well as new software for the Vision Pro, Apple Watch, and Apple TV. And finally, oh my goodness. Oh man, we've got a few more things to get through pretty quick here. Twitter says okay to unclad chests. The website formerly known as Twitter has added language to its rules that formally allows consensually created adult content on the platform, so long as it is correctly and prominently labeled. Twitter has typically been tolerant of sexual content, though the site didn't officially condone it. Therefore,
And to be clear, that is true all the way back.
Yep. Therefore, the primary change will be the creation of an official tagging system for graphic and explicit adult content. Some critics have called the new policy a way for Twitter to reject responsibility for dealing with the sharp increase in pornographic spam that Twitter has seen during Elon Musk's tenure as CEO. But I actually have an alternate take. What I'm hoping is that this just allows things to be tagged more easily.
Yeah.
And so maybe I will actually see less of it.
Yeah. Blurred out or hidden behind reveal buttons.
Our last topic is first, move to Europe. Second, delete Facebook. European users of Facebook and Instagram were recently notified by Meta that the company will be using their data for AI training. The policy is global. It's just that only European users were informed, and only European users have the ability to opt out of this use for their data due to EU legislation. In another unpopular policy change, Instagram is currently testing unskippable ads.
Hey,
Nice.
very good.
Nice. Oh, actually, there is one more thing. The hashtag FixTF2 movement. Yep, it's pretty bad. So
And it doesn't seem like they're going to do anything about it.
250,000 people have signed the petition, and Valve is going to do whatever they want to do whenever they want to do it because they're Valve.
And they print infinite money, and we all love them for it.
All right, time for WAN Show After Dark.
Could you please ask Andy to give me roughly 2 stops of neutral density filter?
I could ask Andy for that, but Andy is not here.
Okay, I'll
so
do it
get
myself.
wrecked, I guess. Or wait,
Rip.
no, hold on. Dennis is here. Dennis. Oh.
I'll
Can
do it
I borrow
manually.
you? Oh, wait. Do we have an ND filter on there? I don't see an ND filter.
Should be digital. I can do it. It's fine.
Is there a
Don't-
digital ND on that camera? I don't think
Don't
so.
worry
Yeah, no,
about
this FX 30. Dan?
Oh, now it's dark.
No, it's at WAN Show After Dark.
I just made it
He's
dark.
gonna
I just made it dark.
he made it dark. It's okay. Thanks, Dennis. Oh yeah, he could have just closed the aperture. That would have been an option.
That's
well.
true.
All right. What's up, Mr. Daniel Besser? Who even are you?
Looks like we got some merch messages. My wife loves your clothes
yeah.
so much, it upsets her that it isn't readily available in places women frequently shop. How do you fix this gap between product superiority and access to the target market?
That's a really great question. If you can answer it, I think I have a position for you at Creator Warehouse Inc.
Oh, I see where you're going.
We're having trouble with marketing. We kind of
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be honest. We kind of suck at it. And I don't mean that as a knock against the team. It's not like I have some silver bullet and I'm some kind of genius and I know how to direct to consumer
If
market.
I was running the marketing,
Like-
it'd be perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Like we're really good at being a marketing vehicle for our sponsors who
And we're really good at making really good stuff.
yeah, we're great at making content, but we don't know much about the dark arts of effectively using a Instagram advertising budget.
Yeah,
It's a whole other field essentially.
genuinely. Yeah.
Yeah. So sorry, I wish I had more for you.
Hi, DLL. Given AMD and Intel's focus on delivering powerful and efficient mobile APUs, do you see discrete mobile GPUs sticking around much longer?
I do. They're great, but a discrete chip is still going to be the way for a long time. I think that the split is going to continue to widen for integrated in low end gaming. Like low end gaming discrete GPUs are already functionally not a thing.
Yeah.
But for people who want real performance on the go, you're going to need a dedicated GPU for a very long time.
Realistically, does running your components hot, home office gets hot during the summer, for work hours, 9 or 10 hours a day, will harm them? Or what's the best solution for hot summer days in a small office?
Being on at all harms your components. They wear out over time. We did a good video on TechWiki on why do computers die. And basically, even though we think of them as having no moving parts, like electrons are moving.
they're moving. Yeah, there's stuff moving.
Like charges are being moved around and stuff. Like it's So they wear out in time, and the hotter they run, the faster they wear out.
Temperature just kills things.
Yeah, and so less is better, and more is worse. But I can't quantify that because it varies wildly from component to component, from generation to generation. If I were to try to generalize and say, oh, well, on Intel, it's really bad, or on AMD, it should be fine. No, you can't generalize. You just have to kind of keep things as cool as you can and do your best with it.
Yep.
Alex did a really cool video a while back where he ducted the exhaust heat from his computer out the window and vented intake air from a different part of the window away from the exhaust heat directly into the computer. That could help.
Yep.
And the last one I have for you today, I'm at an EdTech startup as a CSM. 3rd anniversary this fall, but no raise since joining. The excuse tends to be startup volatile, blah, blah, blah. In your early days, how did you retain talent?
Paying them more every year.
Sort of.
That's not true. Sort of.
What,
My
free
ass.
stuff?
Don't make me go back and find the records. Yvonne is right there.
No,
Free
that
stuff?
that is functionally true, but there was times where you asked if you could have the increase be less.
That's true.
And realistically, I think most of, if not all of us, could have made more elsewhere. Like I think
true.
part of being a part of a startup is understanding that at the beginning you're not going to make.
You still have to see a trajectory.
It does sort of depend at the same time.
Yeah, like you saw a trajectory.
Not only did I see a trajectory, for one, but for two, a lot of startups aren't like what we were like. So realistically, talking about our experience is not...
We started in a garage, Luke.
They called it EdTech startup. This is
No,
probably...
education technology.
I know. But using that terminology, like they're probably American, they're probably West Coast, there's probably VC money involved. This is different than the scenario we had,
I mean, sure, but
I think it depends on where this person started.
if that's the case, right? Like, basically, if you're valuable to them, there's two ways that they can express it: money and shares that are worth money.
Yeah.
It's gonna have to be one of those things. And if your value to them is growing, then one of those things has to grow. And like, you can promise a pot of gold at the end of a rainbow, but that only holds for so long. And I think 3 years is a really long time.
Yeah.
Like by 3 years in, we had that conversation about, hey, here's the budget for next year. Do you want to raise or do you want us to hire these positions?
Yes.
We had that a year prior. By the time we were 3 years in, we had
I think we had that a few times.
that was about the 2 year.
But I think the first one was around there.
Yeah. And there were still increases. They were just smaller.
Lots of assumptions there. I mean, sort of. He called himself a CSM,
Yeah.
assuming Certified Scrum Master.
I thought it was.
Is there a different?
I thought it was something manager, customer service manager, maybe.
Could be customer service.
Customer success manager.
Customer success manager.
Computer science major is another option.
I think you'd be
I mean,
at a company.
as a
Command service module. I like that. That's good.
Yeah, it'd be nice to actually know what the position is. But basically, I think no raise in 3 years is pretty bad, essentially.
Something's got to be going on there. Yeah. That's
And
definitely a conversation.
And that's a question too, right? Like if they're not able to grow the revenue or raise more capital or do whatever it is that they're doing, what is your future there?
Yeah.
So your future can't just be at some indefinite point in the future. Your future is either now or it's the future. And if it's in the future, then they should be like going good enough that they can show you some future, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't have any tips for you with respect to cat urine, Francis, but thank you for your merch message. Okay. And then we got one more here, I think. Right, Dan?
No, I think that's about it. That one's just a thank you.
Oh, I see an incoming one. I ended up buying an X1 Carbon because Dan sold out the P1P within weeks with his review, which was amazing. Oh, okay. That's not really
unboxing.
All right. See you later. No, unboxing. Yes. Okay. Yeah, that's a good
There's a
clarification.
distinction.
And I think that's it.
That is all.
We will see you again next week. Same bad time, same bad channel, different cooler location.
Yeah. Especially for you with the laptop on your lap that is streaming and doing all the
Want
other
to see
fun
how wet
things.
my legs are?
Yeah, kind of. Oh no! Oh my goodness!
It honestly kind of looks like I peed.
You need to hydrate after this.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh.
Oh god. Oh god. Hold on. Okay. Oh, we're
That
very
one's mine,
tangled up
actually.
here, but check this out, guys. Oh wait. I don't know if you can tell, but it's very different color there. Sweaty thighs. Okay.
Bye!